And now, introducing the proprietor of Punishment Week, his sick, twisted, warped little mind gets his jollies off of watching others suffer. He laughed at the end of Braveheart. He is Glenn Clark.
Now, where is it? Where's the watermelon?
Oh, it's right here. It's right here.
I don't know if that's enough watermelon.
It's an entire half a watermelon.
Let me see it. Let me see. Good morning. It is Glenn Clark Radio.
I like that we're starting the show off with "Let me see it."
Yeah, exactly right. You heard what I said. I said what I said. You're quitting anyway. Who cares? Today is the day. Paul lost the... Oh, okay. All right. That's a healthy amount of water. The problem with that, though, is that we're either going to need to cut it...
I got a spoon and a fork. I'm just going to scoop.
But then we need to keep reapplying mustard.
That's fine.
But this is going to get messy over there doing it that way.
No, man.
That's why I wanted a bowl. I wanted a big old bowl to contain it in.
I got a delicate touch, my man.
Nah, we got to be careful about this. There's a lot of expensive equipment that we can't.
I'll leave it in its casing. It'll be all right.
It doesn't really fit. Oh, all right.
It's right there.
Yeah, but it doesn't give us the visual that we need here. The point is that we need this to be a visual medium. As I can
show them the
we do a really good job of pre-preparing these things, as you can tell.
I was gonna bring a bowl.
Yeah,
but
that would have been good.
It was just.
I did say a giant bowl of watermelon was the idea. That was the concept.
Isn't the
for
watermelon?
It's
like when people say, "No, I don't need a glass of my beer. It's already in a glass."
What?
When somebody orders a bottle of beer at a restaurant, you say, "Would you like a glass?" And they say, "No, it's
I
already
hear
in a
you,
glass."
Right. No, I understand
the
what you're
watermelon's
saying.
already in a bowl made out of watermelon.
Well, I know
the most glorious thing I ever saw.
Easy. I know what you're saying. What I'm saying is that we also have to think about the mess that we're leaving behind, particularly given the seat that you're sitting in.
I will not leave a mess.
That's the issue here. So, all right, let me take 2 steps backwards. Today's show brought to you by the Baltimore Police. Join a proud new generation. The Baltimore Police make an active difference in your community. Start with competitive benefits on day 1. Join for good. BPDrecruit.org. Here's what's coming up on the program today. A little bit later on this hour, we're going to go out to Cleveland. Our buddy Gerard Cherry, the 3-time Super Bowl champ. He's going to join us. We will chat with him about one Jarvis Landry. Is he a fit for the Baltimore Ravens? There's some rumblings. The Ravens are interested. By the way, did you just get regular French's mustard?
Yes.
Just regular-ass, normal French's mustard? You didn't try to get cute there, right?
No, I didn't try to get cute.
Right,
it's not even French's. It's store brand.
Ooh, store brand. Even better.
I want you to know that the cubed watermelon, I tried to buy a giant thing of that. That was $17. This half a watermelon.
It's probably good watermelon.
This half a watermelon cost me $6.
Well, it was
99 cents a pound.
It was probably good watermelon. It would have been better for visuals. You should have considered. You're leaving for a big boy job here in a minute. You got $17.
Yeah.
I'll have $17 as long as hang on a second. Who do I need to have not screw up today? I need to have Felix Auger Aliassime not screw up today, and then I'll have $17. Although I won't really, because I got to make back what I lost in all the parlays. That included the Warriors last night. Jesus Christ. What the? All right, anyway, I'll save that conversation for another day. Later on this morning, our buddy Mike Bordick will join us. We'll talk some Orioles with him. It'd be really nice if we could, get some confirmation that Adley Rutschman is playing on Monday. And the closer we get without said confirmation, the more I start to think to myself, is he?
I just got 3 tickets for the game. He better be.
Yeah, I got tickets too. And they're gonna end up they're gonna be very empty if there's no Adley Rutschman, because I am not driving down to the ballpark on Monday. It's supposed to rain on Monday night. I'm not driving down to the ballpark on Monday night for a rainy Monday night game that may or may not even be played if Adley Rutschman isn't involved. I don't understand it. I don't really understand at this point why you wouldn't just go ahead and announce it and try to get a little action there. People are talking about next Friday night because it's a Friday and you can drive a big crowd the way that you did with Matt Wieters once upon a time. And somebody said something about there being a 30th anniversary celebration on Friday. Like, I had not heard that.
The 30th anniversary celebration is on August 6th.
That's what I was to understand. So there are people talking about.
I will straight up murder if.
Hang on a second. You settle down. The 30th anniversary celebration that you're talking about is the one that they're doing in lieu of a Hall of Fame this year with the Orioles advocates. There's not. they've done this a few times, right? Like, and this is the one that everybody got hot and bothered about related to Adam Jones, is the one that they're doing, and that's the traditional time where they do the Hall of Fame is in early August, and that's when they'd be doing this. But like on Twitter all day yesterday, people were talking about there being some sort of event next Friday with a Rays game related to the I was like, I don't know anything about this. This is new. This is something that people are just spitballing out there. So I know nothing about that. All I know is it'd be really effing nice. I'm trying to put myself in their shoes. If there's something that they wanted to see Adley Rutschman do physically before calling up to the big leagues and he hasn't done it yet, that's a different conversation. But I don't understand why he would have been called up to AAA so quickly. This was just a rehab assignment. It seemed like it didn't need to be as long as it was, but it kind of timed out that, like, hey, you know, you want to have him do AA, AAA, and then the big leagues, and you want to wait till the big league team is home. Like, you could definitely have him come up this weekend, and you would presume he'd be ready to play, but you don't want to do that while they're on the road. So I'm more than a little confused as to why you wouldn't announce it. I'm just being as honest as I possibly can.
Maybe they will announce it after the Pipeline game tonight.
Oh, this afternoon?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's at 12. They're doing a game that's going to be on MLB TV. I don't really know what the significance. I'm not trying to poo-poo that, but like, that's for a very niche, very small audience, right? Like, I get it. It's if you got nothing to do this afternoon, you're going to have the opportunity to sit around and watch Adley Rutschman and Grayson Rodriguez on MLB TV. I think there's another weird question. Do you have to pay for all other minor league games? I just don't know the answer to this question. Like, if I want to watch,
there's MLB TV.
If I want to watch the Norfolk Tides,
it's
the rest of the year, I got to pay for it.
It's $50, but if you use the code, I think it's if you use Base Sox or Bowie Base Sox, you get it for like $30.
Okay, but that's still, I don't really care about this, but your major league team's minor league games should be included in your cable package. If I'm paying for Masson, I should also be able to watch all of the minor league teams' games on MLB TV.
If I have MLB TV, I should be able to get it.
100%, you should be able to get that. It's something that it's not for today, but it's for another day. But
and for the record, there is a promotion on May 20th. It's an Orioles tumbler, the first 10,000
Yeah, but that's not what people were talking about. They were talking about something else.
The only thing is August 6th.
Is there something unique? Is the tumbler, what does it look like?
I don't know.
People were talking about there being an anniversary thing on the and that I know nothing about that. That's why it was so confusing to me. This is what Twitter was doing weird things yesterday. We're all struggling because we all are trying to figure out if we should buy tickets to this game on Monday or not. And it's a logical assumption when you were up for the first day of the week at the AA level and then you were going to be up for the first day of the week at the AAA level. Everybody seemed to think it would work out. Now, it also was always odd to me that you would use a Yankees game as the first game for Adley Rutschman. And I said that the first time, Ken. I remember being over when I was onboarding again at Odyssey, Baltimore. I was in on a meeting that Ken Weinman and Jason Lockenfora were having with the boss over there. And they were going on about how they're definitely going to broadcast downtown next Monday night because they had been convinced all along that was the day where Adley Rutschman. And I remember looking at Ken just because I like Ken. Ken and I have been friends for a while. I looked at Ken, I'm like, you really think they're going to use it on a Yankees game? Because this was back a month and a half ago that he was saying this. I'm like, you really think that's the game? And I was always a little bit suspect about that. I was always a bit suspect about the idea of a Yankees game being the game when you do this just because there is some sort of crowd that comes out for a Yankees game. You don't necessarily need it for a Yankees game, whereas, maybe for a Rays game, it would make a bit more sense. There is no crowd that comes out for a Rays game.
It's a Friday night.
And that's like but then we go back to the Wieters thing, where like when you did it with Matt Wieters, you damn near had a sold-out stadium on a Friday night. Yeah. Like damn near had a complete and as I think Drew rightly pointed out yesterday, you do this on Monday, you're going to get a crowd, but you're not, just the simple fact that it's a Monday, you're not going to get a sellout You're not going to get a 40,000 person crowd.
I mean, if Glenn
on a
Clark's
Monday.
willing to go.
Boy, it is. Well, I was given tickets for what it's worth. I didn't. Now I would have.
Shrewd businessman.
I would have. I would have paid for my tickets if I did not have the option. If somebody hadn't offered me tickets, I would have paid for my tickets to go on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
But I would have waited until they announced it and then paid for my tickets. I wouldn't have. I only procured tickets ahead of time because I had someone I know who has tickets. I said, and I just happen to know doesn't go to a lot of games.
Mm-hmm.
I said, "Are you planning on going on Monday?" And they were like, "No." I'm like, why don't you pass those on over to your pal Glenn? Why don't you go ahead and pass those on over? Because then I won't feel bad if Adley Rutschman doesn't play about me not using the tickets because they weren't going to be used anyway, right? Like, I won't feel all that bad about it. It worked out quite well for your boy, but still, I'm planning to go to a baseball stadium on a Monday night. I live in bum F. I got 2 kids. I don't want to do this, but I'm willing to because I want to be a part of the event. I want to be a part of the experience. I want to be, I want to do all that. So I just, could your theory about, hey, they want to let MLB have their promotion of this game today and get some attention and, maybe it'll be part of that. Like, hey, make sure you're tuned in because there might be an announcement at some point. Maybe. So, it's possible.
Last week, and I get why they did it because of the weather. They announced on Thursday that Rutschman and Hall were going to Norfolk. The week before that, I think they announced it on Friday that they were going to Bowie. So maybe this is just the time in the week. I expect if they're going to announce his debut.
Right. Well, they weren't going to. As I said before, they weren't going to announce that they were moving. That literally had nothing. There's nothing other than weather. But that was just the start of a rehab assignment, right? Like it wasn't planned out at a certain like.
Well, no, but he was already in Aberdeen. He'd already begun his rehab assignment. So when he was already in Aberdeen,
to go from Aberdeen to Bowie.
Yeah, they announced that like on a Thursday or Friday.
I mean, I don't remember exactly what day it was, but I think we had all seen, hey, based on when these teams are home, like they're not going to send Adley Rutschman to Mahoning Valley or whatever. I don't even know what the cities are now, because they're in the Eastern League. They're not in the old league, the New York Penn League they used to be in. I don't remember where Aberdeen would have been going that week. But we all knew he wasn't going to Wilmington. He wasn't going to Coney Island or whatever it was. It was just whoever was going to be home. It timed out the right way that it was going to be home game, home game, home game. The only reason that got screwed up was because of the weather, because we didn't know if Bowie was going to be able to play games, and they didn't want to have Adley Rutschman sitting around not playing baseball games, so they sent him to Nashville for a couple of days before he came back to play in Norfolk. But if there had been no rain last weekend, they would have had Adley Rutschman stay in Bowie for the weekend. It's just the way that it worked out. Look, man, this is not that big of a deal. In the end, Adley Rutschman's going to be in Baltimore sooner or later. I know Dan Connolly wrote about it at The Athletic today. Unfortunately, Dan was a little bit busy. I did reach out to him, but he's a little bit busy, or we reached out to him. I didn't. I have people.
You can take credit for that.
No, I certainly did. It's a dumb thing to take. I'm just lying. That's all I'm doing is I'm just lying. We reached out to him, but he's busy today, and we understand that. It's just weird. It's just weird that you have this opportunity to market something and you're not aggressively doing it.
Right.
And again, like the thing that we talked about with Weeders, where it could be that they announced on Sunday that it's a Friday, sure. It could definitely be that. And then you would build up an entire, like a Rutschman week, right? Where everybody's, but why? Why do that? Why does he need to be at AAA any longer? This kind of starts going back to the thing that we talked about at the beginning of the season, where all of the other prospects were there on day one. Now, maybe it's a bit ironic that some of those guys are struggling, right? Like maybe there's some irony in the fact that Bobby Witt and Julio Rodriguez and those guys are just they're not off to great starts of the season. But there's nothing more to prove. This is it. He didn't need any more time in the minor leagues. He only needed a rehab assignment. How long of a rehab? We're 3 weeks of a rehab assignment. And I know that part of that was like kind of making up spring training because he missed it altogether, but like at this point it's almost concerning if you don't have him here on Monday. Mm-hmm. Even if it's because you think that Friday is a better day to do this, like.
Not to mention, you've already got the entire fan base talking about Monday. you might as well just announce that it's Monday.
It's a little bit the fan base has all been talking about Monday, but I'd also say the other part of it is you run the risk of like losing more games between now and then.
Mm-hmm.
If you'd announced it 2 nights ago when the team had won 7 of the last 10 games, you could have really like generated buzz in town. You run the risk, if you're holding it out till Friday, of you're losing again today, you're losing 2 out of 3 in Detroit, and now like the buzz is all gone away. And like I'm not saying that it'll still be a big deal that Adley Rutschman is making his first appearance in Baltimore. I assure you, it'll still be a big deal. But it won't come with the same kind of buzziness of a team that was playing good baseball at the moment. Like, that was the moment, having won 7 out of 10, for you to be like, hey, why don't we go ahead and make an announcement before we run the risk of them losing a game 10-1, before that occurs.
Do I have to do a minute on that game? There's nothing to say about that
we
game.
do it. That's part of the bit. We're going to have to do a minute of eating watermelon here in a second anyway, so we'll worry about that later. It's very weird. Everything about it is very weird. They certainly, maybe they've got some other things they're trying to plan around this and trying to make a big, I don't know, but it would just be nice. It would just be nice for people around, the casual fan that wants to create a sort of second opening day would like to know, hey, can I buy tickets? And by the way, every moment those goes by is another chance for a Yankees fan to buy the ticket for Monday night's game.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not going to be Monday night, fine. I do think at some point as an organization, you kind of have an obligation to say, hey, we see you guys are all planning on Adley Rutschman on Monday. We need to let you know that's not going to be the case. That, yes, it's not your fault that everybody's assuming that it's Monday. You never said, hey, be here on Monday night. But once you notice that it's kind of overwhelming that everybody is assuming something, if you know that's not the case, I think it would behoove you as an organization to do the right thing by your fans and say, hey, we'd still love to have you out for the game on Monday, but we don't want you to be bamboozled. We don't want you to feel like you've been rope-a-doped, bait and switched. There's not going to be an Adley Rutschman on Monday. So we just need to let you know that it's not happening Monday. We'll make an announcement about when it is, but it's not Monday, just so your fan base feels as though they're in on it a little bit. It's such a small thing to do, is to try to be as honest as possible with your fan base when you have something that's significant that people seem to care about. All right.
I agree. They should have made it. If they weren't going to do it, they should have let us know by now.
Either way, I think they should have let us know by now. Either way, at this point, we're 4 days out.
I'd expect an announcement today one way or the other.
Like, we're 4 days out. Say something. Say something. And I'm not trying to be too critical. I'm not trying to. They don't have an obligation, but they also know what's going on. They do. They know what's going on. They know the fever. They know the interest level in this. They understand it. And why it might not be a common business practice to announce when someone's rehab assignment is going to end, and they're definitely going to be at the major league level. For this case, it would be the right thing to do from a business standpoint, from a marketing standpoint, to be a bit more aggressive than you typically are when it comes to things like this. So we're 4 days out. Whatever the answer is, just let people know. Just say today, in whatever way you want to say it. Have Mike Elias do a pregame interview on Masson tonight and say, you know, I know a lot of people are wondering if Adley Rutschman's going to be there on Monday. We're not quite ready for that yet. There's a few more things we want to see from him before we call him up. We just want you guys to know we hope to see you out at the ballpark. We're going to have a great series against the Yankees, but we don't want you guys to assume that Adley's going to be there and then be disappointed. Do it however you want to do it. Don't take responsibility or blame because it's not your fault, but just recognize that there is a fever related to this and work with your fan base. Allow them the best opportunity to make decisions that they want to make. And if the answer is, well, we really want to get a lot of people, we want to sell a lot of tickets to Monday, but you also want to sell a lot of tickets to Friday, so we don't really want to tell people that Adley's not going to be here because that could sell us some more tickets, and then we can announce that the game is on Friday. That's shameful.
That's a jerk move.
That's shameful. That's horrible business. That's the type of thing that looks good on paper for a second and then gets people to say things like, same old Orioles. This is why I can't get back on board. So I have no reason to think that's what they're doing. And I sure as hell hope that's not what they're doing. But at some point, it's time to say something. We're close enough. It's time to say something. It's not quite the same as going from Bowie to Norfolk. I bet there were people that bought tickets to the Bay Sox last weekend that were bummed out when they found out that Adley was going to be gone after the assumption had been that it was going to be a week. It's a bummer. But it's AAA baseball. AA baseball. And I'm not trying to be dismissive. I love the Bay Sox. We all know that. But this requires planning. This is not going to a community ballpark. You got to plan your night around it. This requires a little bit more effort, thought, preparation. Just need a little bit more on that side when it comes to this. This is about doing the right thing. This is a unique opportunity. Let's do the right thing, and let's let people know, one way or the other, what's going on for Monday. And if the answer is, for whatever reason, it's a physical thing. Remember, there was he took a line drive the other day from Kyle Stowers.
It didn't hit him.
It didn't hit him?
No, it was
that's the way I read, was that it hit him.
I didn't hear that it hit him. What I read was that he Kyle Stowers took a full batting practice swing while Rutschman was in the middle of the field.
I thought it read that. Hang on a second. Okay, all right. I guess it doesn't say that it hit him. I think that was the way that it read. It's a really strangely worded tweet. It's a strangely worded tweet. If there is something physical that that's the reason why you don't know what the date is, be honest about that. Just be as honest as you possibly can about this situation. Here's what's going on. Here's the situation. We actually don't know yet because it's more about Adley and just making sure he's 100% physically ready to be here and stay here. So we're just going to give it a little bit more time to make sure of that. Be honest. And maybe you're worried that would create panic and people would say is something terrible. Just be as honest as you possibly can with your customers, your consumers, your fan base. At this point, it's the best thing you can do. All right, we're going to I got to come up with a plan for how we're going to do this because when we come back in, Paul's going to start eating his watermelon. For those that don't remember, we do a draft every year, and I just kicked the boys' asses in this year's draft. 5 of my first 10 picks ended up being Ravens draft picks. It was a historic performance from your boy.
You did take David Ojabo right before I was about to take him, and I did get as many people that are on the Ravens right now as Ken Zales did.
That wasn't the game, Paul.
I know.
That wasn't.
But I said,
Paul included Josh Ross on his list, but and by the way, I thought it would have been the right thing to do for Ken to eat some watermelon too. It's really weird that he didn't show up today.
He just said, no, we got a softball
really
game
strange.
at
really strange how that worked out.
4 o'clock this afternoon.
Yeah.
He can't be here for 10
really
a.m.
strange
show.
how that worked out that he couldn't show up this morning. So I was incredibly safe because I nailed it. This is the greatest I've ever done as far as the draft was concerned. Ken was saved by Charlie Kohler, who will go down, I think, probably as Ken's favorite draft pick in Ravens history because it was the one that saved him. Paul, as he predicted, to be fair, went 0 for 30. Went 0 for... And you had the number 1 pick, correct?
Yeah, I
took Jordan
Davis.
Davis, who went 1 pick before.
And then the Eagles trade up. I said, you bastards.
Yeah, you never know. You never know. Might very well have been a Baltimore Raven.
Though EDC says that they were taking Kyle Hamilton if he was there. But you have to say these.
Well, somebody else might have... Yeah, correct. What else are you going to say? Also, it's possible that whoever was at their team was going to take Kyle Hamilton.
Right.
So it's kind of a moot point, right? Who knows? But so Paul went 0 for, and so he was the loser. And because of that today, he was supposed to wear a Tommy Bahama shirt.
I totally forgot.
Botched that. So we're going to make him do that part tomorrow. While, by the way, Andrew Steck is consuming this tarantula. Steck said he also shipped me the back waxing stuff. Steck, I have not seen it yet, pal. I'm just being honest.
That big box that's been sitting outside the door?
There's a box sitting outside the door?
There was a big, tall box sitting outside the door for like a week.
Nah, it wouldn't have been for a week. He shipped it like last Friday. Or he had it shipped he bought it like last Friday. So it wouldn't have gotten here until...
Maybe it gets here today.
I'm hoping it does.
At the same time the Orioles announced Adley
Adley Rutschman. But he's going to consume this tarantula tomorrow. So while Andrew's doing that, Paul's going to wear his Tommy Bahama shirt, chef's hat, and apron,
Is
which
the
is
chef's
confusing.
hat still here?
I don't know if it's still here or not. You can look for it.
Did you give it to Kyle?
I think as a gift, it might have been. I might have let, and I'm gonna guess it just got thrown away. I'm just gonna. If I know Kyle, he just tossed it in the trash.
I'll bet Kyle has a Glenn Clark radio shrine.
I don't think that's the case. I don't even know. I gave him a very nice gift on the way out. Like I gave him a very thoughtful plaque and everything, and I'm gonna guess that might have gotten tossed in the trash. Yeah, that's correct. And a Hanson T-shirt. A very thoughtful gift giver. You have not been here quite as long as Kyle was. I don't know if it's going to be quite the same. It might be more like maybe some charcuterie or something. Who doesn't enjoy? But for us to share, not for you.
I was going to say the wife loves charcuterie.
Yeah, no.
She'd eat the whole thing.
Yeah. Well, who doesn't love charcuterie? So he'll do that part tomorrow. Today, he's going to eat his watermelon. The watermelon, for whatever reason, there is this internet thing where people are covering their watermelon in mustard. Some people swear it's a thing. It works. It sounds grotesque to me. And either way, we're going to have Paul eat a lot of it so that even if he happens to enjoy it at first, that will hopefully go away. We just got to figure out a way that we can make this a bit less messy over there because we do have a lot of equipment. So that's coming up. Paul's going to eat his watermelon. That's next. Today's show is also brought to you by the FanDuel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel. It is the place to be for the playoffs, for all of the major events coming up, including the PGA Championship, as well as the Gervonta Davis-Rolando Romero fight, the UEFA Champions League final. You're going to want to be in the FanDuel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel. They'll be showing the Preakness in there. Of course, unfortunately, you can't bet on it. You can only bet on the horse races at the tracks in Maryland. But everything else you can bet on with all of the prop bets available, 61 self-service kiosks. I hope you didn't bet the Warriors last night. God!
So it's safe to say they didn't come out to play?
Not remotely. It's one of the biggest blowouts in NBA history. Anyway, the moral of the story being the FanDuel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel. Paul eats his watermelon. Next, Glenn Clark Radio. The latest edition of Press Box is available now. On the cover, Luke Jackson profiles Orioles catcher Adley Rutschman, diving into where his passion for baseball and for catching comes from and how he uses that passion to elevate those around him in the Orioles organization. Also inside, Bo Smolka takes a look at how the Ravens' 2021 draft picks can make progress in year two, and Glenn Clark offers a very unique tribute to former rival Mike Krzyzewski that all Maryland fans can appreciate. Press Box is available for free at over 500 area locations, including 60 Royal Farm stores, and you can always find the entire edition, as well as the best daily coverage of the Orioles, Ravens, and Terps at PressBoxOnline.com.
That first sip. That first bite. Start your day off right with a delicious breakfast at Royal Farms. Choose from a fantastic selection of fresh Royal Farms breakfast sandwiches and top it off with a rich hot cup of the freshest coffee in the world. At Royal Farms, breakfast is available day and night. It's the freshest breakfast in the world. Real fresh, real fast. Royal Farms.
Answering Baltimore's calls for help, running in when others run away, working together toward one shared vision for a thriving city. That's your Baltimore Police. But the department needs more good people, people like you. Join a proud new generation of Baltimore Police and make an active difference in your community. Start with competitive wages and excellent benefits on day one. Join for good at bpdrecruit.org.
Sports betting has come to Maryland, and we're ready to help you win some money. Tune in for Simply the Bets with Glenn Clark and Paul Valley every Tuesday morning at 11:40. FanDuel Sportsbook GM Bruce Billick and VSiN's Aaron Oster join the guys every week to give you all of the info you need and even a few winners. So come win some money with us on Simply the Bets every Tuesday at 11:40 a.m. Brought to you by the FanDuel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel Maryland. Listen at PressBoxOnline.com/radio. Watch at YouTube.com/PressBoxOnline.
Baseball is back, and so is the spring seasonal menu at Glory Days Grill. Start with the opener, flash-fried pork belly with our popular Korean No. 2 sauce, and take a bite out of the Crunch Burger, topped with home run sauce, white American cheese, and house-made chips. It also features irresistible options like a baseball-cut sirloin with blue cheese, grilled shrimp with garlic butter, and a strawberry salmon salad. And then there's the closer, the Cracker Jack Sundae with a waffle, ice cream, and Cracker Jack. snacks. This menu will be going, gone at your neighborhood Glory Days Grill. GloryDaysGrill.com to find out more. Great food, good sports.
We can't imagine why you'd want to, but you can watch GCR live. It's at facebook.com/PressBoxSports and try to guess whether these guys are wearing any pants.
I feel like my grandmother right now. I'm having Paul put down protect that. Now we're gonna put some plastic over the couch. We got to do this safely. We got to do this the right way.
It's perfect.
All right. It is that time. We're going to talk about Jarvis Landry here in a few minutes with Gerard Cherry from out in Cleveland. But before that, we're going to start having Paul. He's not going to do all of it, obviously, in these next 10 minutes, but he's going to start consuming his watermelon. Let me see your store-bought mustard. Boy, that is some low-rent looking mustard. Just yellow. They literally don't even bother to try it. They just call it yellow mustard. That's it. They don't even give it like a fun name. Like, I don't even know what I would call it if I was trying to come up with a
Giants store brand.
I don't know.
name?
I don't know. They don't sponsor us. We don't care about them. So just some yellow ass mustard that Paul has brought in to. Now this is the deal. Because of the way you're doing this, you're going to do the first layer. Then after you eat a little bit, you're going to have to relayer.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is going to have to be a constant relayering of mustard. This is why we probably should have cut this thing. There will have to be consistent relayers of mustard. I'm guessing there's a little tab that needs to be pulled on that.
I already took it off.
Oh, you already took it off. Very good. So Paul is currently covering the watermelon in mustard. And again, it's got to be an unhealthy amount. All right. We'll take a look at that. Now, let me get a picture of this. Let me get a picture of what's going on here. This would have been a good day to have an intern. We should have had somebody come in today. Hang on a second. Oh, God, that looks terrible. Oh, that just looks disturbing. All right, how do you feel about mustard in general, Paul?
I'm a mustard guy.
Okay.
I like mustard.
Regular-ass mustard? Just regular, normal-ass yellow mustard?
I like regular mustard. I like Dijon mustard. I like honey mustard. I like spicy brown. I love spicy brown mustard with pretzels.
All right, I want you to pull out a bite, and then I'm going to have you hold it up, and we'll take another picture as we do this. Hang on a second. Maybe I'll create my own video beyond what we're doing on Facebook and YouTube. You got to hold it up for the YouTube cameras, and then I'll take a look. What are you expecting here?
Nastiness.
You
overall
don't think there's any
nastiness.
chance that you're going to take a bite and say, you know what?
There's like a 3% chance. That
I
I'm gonna
get
like
why
this.
it is that people enjoy this.
So here it is.
Bon appetit.
First bite.
Bon appetit. Here we go. There was not an immediate gag reflex that I noticed. It was not. You didn't feel like it doesn't seem like you were looking to go puke or anything like that. It seems like
The watermelon cancels out the mustard.
So what is it?
It just tastes like watermelon.
What do you mean it just tastes like watermelon?
I'll try another bite, but so far
Then we need more mustard. Then clearly there's not enough mustard here. We're gonna need more mustard involved. I don't know what to make of this. I don't care for this. There should be some sort of combination.
I mean, you can taste the mustard, but the watermelon really waters it down.
Oh, God. This is very disappointing. God.
It's still a large amount. Like, when Sasha Banks was, like, gagging, I was like, all right, this isn't going to be fun. You don't really... The overwhelming flavor is watermelon. But, Glenn, I have to eat a large
I know
amount
it's a lot of it.
watermelon.
I understand that. And that's why, like, we're still going to get to a point where there's a chance that you might die. And that's good for everybody, obviously, is that we get to that
Not
place.
my wife. At least I hope not. I don't have a good life
Well,
insurance
I mean,
policy.
I
don't
don't
have a life insurance
You shouldn't.
policy.
I'm not going to tell you what I heard. I'm not going to tell you anything about that. You just look like you're a man sitting around eating some watermelon today. And that now it disturbs me to the point where I feel like I need to know.
I got an extra fork here.
God damn it.
I'm going to cut you off a piece.
God damn it. I don't care for this at all. This is really bothering me. This is a huge letdown. I'll be honest with you. This is a massive letdown. All right. What am I doing here? All right. Here we go. Watermelon and mustard. And mustard is gross, but I understand your point. You're getting more watermelon than you are mustard. It is an unpleasant combination, though. There's zero reason why any human being would choose to do this. Like, there's nothing, unless you just hate sweet, and like you're trying to figure out a way that you can consume watermelon without it being sweet, and so you need something to counteract it. There is absolutely zero reason why any human being, and I don't even know how this started. I don't know who the first person was that said, I know what I'm going to do with my day. I'm going to douse a watermelon in some mustard. But short of just having, like, you're a child who's being forced to eat watermelon, and why would that be the case? Watermelon is delicious.
Children love watermelon.
You say that. My idiot 7-year-old does not. He's just terrified of anything.
Fair enough.
He's an idiot. But short of that, and saying, like, I just hate sweet things, so I need something to counterbalance the sweetness of the watermelon, this adds nothing. It's unpleasant. It's not, I don't understand. Now
I don't even find it unpleasant.
Now you got a problem.
I don't find it pleasant.
This is a bigger problem.
It's
it's unpleasant. It's because you just want to taste watermelon, and you're getting something else, and that's counterintuitive to the idea of eating. No, you never do this. You would never sit around and eat anything else.
I would
with
never
watermelon.
choose to do this.
It's not just that it's going to be a no for me, dog. It's that the internet, y'all got to get your act together. Anyone who's choosing to do this has a problem. Seek help. You ever had a kid, like, growing up when you're in elementary school and it'd be like a pizza day in the cafeteria? There was a kid who, like, covered their pizza in mustard.
No.
We had a kid. I tried to think of what the kid's name was. This is that. This is just nothing. There's nothing there.
If it's any consolation, it's getting worse.
Well, you've eaten more. Now there comes the part where, thankfully, I did not get the first payoff of this, which was the disturbing nature of the taste, but I presume I will get the payoff of the total amount of food that you have to consume when it comes to your watermelon and mustard as this goes on. Don't
this
forget,
is a lot of watermelon.
Don't forget you need to reapply.
I know.
You need to.
I'm eating the first layer.
SPF 50, my friend. Like, we need to be reapplying. There need to be plenty of reapplications of watermelon and mustard throughout the course of today's show. Look, admittedly, I'm not getting the payoff that I wanted to get from this. I wanted this to be Paul. I wanted that, and I'm not getting that. He's a no-selling son of a bitch. It's like Brian Powell, when Brian Powell came in here and ate that 19 ounces of Chick-fil-A sauce in all of about 3 minutes. It was just like, I'm good. No problem. Creep. This is a no-sell. But I think the totality of it, and again,
at some point, because of just the massive, the volume of this.
Yes.
And the amount of mustard, because nobody should consume, only my Uncle Mike, who we actually call Uncle Mustard because of how much he loves mustard. He goes through like one of those gallon jars.
Is he the type of
month.
person that eats the crab mustard? Because those, to me, are the people that are the most disturbing humans on the face of the planet.
My dad does that, too.
Yeah, we need to talk to Dr. Valley about that. That's disturbing. Mm-hmm. You have a problem, sir.
I told you, my dad also eats the peanuts in the shell and the shrimp in the shell.
What?
Yeah.
I'm not so
I've done
sure.
the peanuts in the shell. It's not terrible.
I'm not so sure I'm comfortable with him being a doctor. I just got to be honest about this.
He's been one of Baltimore's top
That's
top
fine.
doctors,
I just feel like
3 times.
on the medical exam that you take in order to get your doctorate, these should be things that you have to. Do you take the shell off your shrimp before you eat it? Yes or no? And
I
if
didn't
the
learn this
answer
about
is,
him until his 60th birthday.
It's disturbing. That is really
He
disturbing.
asked to try
dog.
one of my
That
shrimps. He
is-
said they looked delicious.
that
He
is-
ate the shrimp in the shell and got the shrimp himself based on that.
John from Little Rock, it's just salty melon. It's dumb and it's a waste of mustard. The people who suggested this are stupid. You know what? In general, I find yellow mustard to be a waste of mustard. Now, that being said, there are things, like if I'm somewhere and it's my only option is yellow mustard, I'll do it. But there's just so many better versions of mustard. A nice jalapeno mustard. The stadium mustard from out in Cleveland is delicious. Just a normal-ass yellow mustard stinks. This is a waste of all of it. It's a waste of all the above. It's a waste of the mustard, and it's a waste of wonderful water. Watermelon is a perfect food. Watermelon is a goddamn summer treat. Your life is so much better. Remember being a kid and somebody coming out home with a watermelon, and it was just going to be the happiest day of your life. You get a giant slice, you shove it in your face, there's seeds everywhere, you're spitting them at your buddies. The joy of that still exists. It still permeates to this day. But it's taken away when you ruin it with watermelon. And no, John from Little Rock, you should be ashamed of outing yourself as also being a crab mustard person. That is not the dude. The mustard and steamed crabs is life. You aren't a true Baltimorean if you don't crush this. That's not correct. That is not accurate.
It's literally gut fluid. It's like bowels. It's like you're eating crap.
And it's typically watered down and ends up like making the meat gross and damp. And just no good. Stop. Oh, God. No is the answer. Eternally no on the crab mustard. All right, you're going to have to pause for a second because we got to call Gerard Cherry. I got plenty of napkins over there.
It's getting worse.
I'm happy to hear that. I need you to know. I'm happy to hear that.
Oh, I know you are, you sick son of a bitch.
I am happy that you are more miserable. The idea of this is that you're going to be miserable. Paul Still also later on the show has to perform Thunder by the Imagine Dragons, as we were honoring the fact that the draft was in Vegas. All right, today's show brought to you by your local Toyota dealer, buyatoyota.com. Make the most out of every day in a Toyota RAV4, available in hybrid or gas-only models. A RAV4 can get you where you want to go in style. Check out buyatoyota.com for deals on new RAV4s from your local Toyota dealer today. Yeah, you know what, Chris, I am too. Disappointed that it didn't get the guttural. I really wanted the guttural reaction. I absolutely. You didn't turn your microphone on. You gotta do that.
You might get that eventually.
Yeah, but I wanted it to be guttural. I wanted it to be like literally the first thing was just like that's what I wanted.
I don't think there's ever been anything that I've eaten that's made me do that.
What?
Ever.
Have you just not like tried gross things with your buddies ever?
I have, and nothing's ever. I mean, the initial reaction is I might make a face, but I've never. The only thing that ever made me do that was I was at a New Year's Eve party, and there was a shot of I didn't know where I put my shot of Jameson, and I found one, and I thought it was mine, and I threw it back, and there was something hard.
Ah, well that'll definitely do it.
And I immediately started dry heaving.
Yeah, that will.
I think that's the only time I can remember where my reaction was just. Ugh.
That will definitely do it. All right, we will continue to monitor Paul and his mustard watermelon throughout the course of the morning. The NFL schedule does indeed come out later on tonight. There are more and more leaks that are popping up different places, some that already cancel out others and make them proven to be not true. I had someone tell me that they think that the Bills, the Thanksgiving thing is legitimate, but I'm not going to report that. Someone who I know who would have reason to know said to me, I think that one is legitimate. But that's it. That's all. And I'm not comfortable with it enough to say Glenn Clark's saying that or I'm reporting it. It's just something that was told to me. We'll all find out tonight. And as I said during the part of the show that was botched yesterday, as I said then, we can just do something with your day. Watch the Norfolk Tides game this afternoon. We all get so itchy and like, stop, settle down. They're going to announce it tonight at 8. Everything's going to be fine. You'll know the schedule, and you can make your plans for wherever it is that you want to go on the road with the Ravens this season. The question is whether or not there will be a certain Jarvis Landry who will be with the Baltimore Ravens this season. We believe they need to be in the market for at least one more wide receiver, not because we don't think that the young guys could be players, but simply put, they have 4 wide receivers, like actual guys that are draft picks or NFL players on the roster. From a numbers perspective, that's not enough. There were some reports last week that they have been interested and have been poking around with the guy that I think most people believe is the top guy on the market. That's Jarvis Landry, who is most recently with the Cleveland Browns. Joining us now to tell us more about Jarvis Landry from the Browns Radio Network. He is our friend and the Super Bowl champ, Gerard Cherry, and he's back with us now here on GCR. Gerard, it's Glenn and Paul. It's good to chat with you, man. Thank you so much for taking a couple of minutes for us this morning.
No problem, and I am hoping and praying that you guys do not land one Jarvis Landry on your roster.
Oh, that's interesting. So let's dive into it, right, Gerard? Why are the Browns not bringing Jarvis Landry back? Why is it not worked out?
It's simply a numbers game, really. Jarvis is commanding a lot of money with the Browns, and I'm pretty sure Jarvis is like, no, I'm not taking a pay cut. My numbers were down due to poor quarterback play. So why should I take a pay cut? That's the only thing I could imagine, because if you listen to what the Browns organization has to say about Jarvis, it's nothing but glowing words. And that's not saying glowing words for the sake of being kind and nice. It's actually true. Jarvis Landry was a key component to changing things around here in Cleveland, and his attitude and his way of going about doing business was very glowing and was a departure from what we were accustomed to when we brought guys in as traded players or free agents or whatnot, especially at the receiver position.
So you say the numbers are about the quarterback play. Let's talk about this, because it's not just last year, but over the last 2 seasons, 5 total touchdowns and averaging about 50 yards per game. You say that's not about Jarvis Landry. That's entirely about Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of numbers, because I've literally watched every last one of those plays and games and have discussed them like you do ad nauseum. And I watch Jarvis, and I know a good football player when I see one. I know when a guy's not getting opportunity, and it's not an issue of, and as you would agree with me, the Browns have been loaded the past 2 seasons from a talent standpoint,
Sure.
3 seasons.
Sure.
And when you have that much talent to work with, sometimes guys get lost in the shuffle and forgotten about. So if you look at that Browns roster, you can't point to one guy and say, that was a designated go-to guy. We weren't feeding guys 70, 80, 90, 100 attempts. Well, I actually were feeding one guy, and his name was Odell Beckham Jr.,
Right.
but he wanted to go elsewhere. So that played a part in it as well. And if you couple that with Baker's inconsistent play, along with just having a wealth of talent, those numbers make sense to me now. You'll look at him and like, oh, the guy's getting old, he's hurt, he's not productive. But I hope you guys make that mistake and come to that conclusion and don't put him on your roster, because I think Jarvis Landry still has a lot of football left in him.
We're talking with Gerard Cherry here on Glenn Clark Radio. It's like you know exactly where I want to go next, Gerard, because that would be the next place. The Ravens have done this before with guys that are a bit deeper into their career. And, you know, when they were aggressive about it at the start of free agency, it worked with the likes of Steve Smith, and it worked with the likes of Anquan Bolden, who they traded for. They've also, over the years, you know, taken one last stab at a Michael Crabtree or a Mike Wallace or a Jeremy Maclin to significantly mixed results with some of those types of guys. Sammy Watkins a year ago. The injury thing, I know he was banged up a year ago, and he is approaching 30. Why are you not concerned that health and age would be a factor for Jarvis Landry?
Because I look at the 2 guys you named, Steve Smith and Anquan Bolden, and Jarvis has that same component in how he approaches, with no disrespect to the other guys you named, but I don't think they have that attitude about them like Jarvis does, and Jarvis shares that with Steve and Anquan, in that they're aggressive. They play football on the offensive side like they're defensive players, just aggressiveness, that they're attacking you, and that's what Jarvis is about. And you want that. So I don't see him being the type of dude who's like, okay, let me go get a pension payment by coming to play for this team, and he got a year or 2 tricking people into thinking I can still play. I think he just has too much respect for the game to go about that way, and too much of a competitor and too fiery and too real to be that. So I hold him in that light. That's how I see him.
I understand what you're saying. Look, I guess one of the issues about a fit in Baltimore would be the receiver they lost is Hollywood Brown, and the skill sets are not like he wouldn't be coming here to be a replacement for Hollywood Brown.
Not at all.
But
no.
Knowing what you know about the Ravens and what they do offensively, do you think that it could be a fit for a Jarvis Landry to be, would he be okay with being in a run-first offense? And would he be all right knowing, he probably won't have explosive numbers here, or knowing that there's not a lot of opportunities left for him to make money? Do you think he would say, no, I got to go somewhere I'm going to put up big numbers in order to get maybe one final contract?
That part, I think if I'm Jarvis Landry, I would lean towards the Saints, where you assume that they're going to be a passing offense with a quarterback in Winston that capable of producing 5,000 yards in passing. And in Jarvis's mind, let me get 1,000 of that, because that's going to give me 3 or 4 more years. But if I do go to Ravens, that could be potentially 4, now 5 years if I sign a multi-year contract of numbers that are porous, and not because I can't play, just simply the scheme doesn't fit. So if I'm Jarvis, I'm thinking I go somewhere where they pass a lot, because he could fit in your culture right away. He is exactly what John Harbaugh looks for in a football player. A dude who's hard-nosed, tough, and is going to get after you. He'd be a perfect fit in that culture. And that's one of the things that you respect about the Ravens is the fact that you have that culture where guys just grind it out and play that old-school football that still works.
I mean,
mentality-wise.
we know he's physical. Like, would he be up for blocking? Like, would he be up for
all the time?
Yeah.
Oh, that's what he does.
Yeah. That's what I assumed. I assumed that would be the case. And so in that way, again, it's appealing. Like, I look at what's out there, Gerard, and again, knowing I know a lot of people in Baltimore get defensive about this and say, hey, you need to give your young guys a chance. You need to figure out if one of these receivers could be your version of Donovan Peoples-Jones, for example, right? And I hear that. But you can't go into a season with 4 guys. Like, you have to have a full, because somebody's getting hurt. Like, it's just we're all smart enough to know this isn't the way that it's going to go. So I look at this list and I see a Julio Jones, and I get it, it's Julio Jones, but boy, did that look bad a year ago. And I see a T.Y. Hilton, and I don't know, of the list, I would think Jarvis Landry is the most appealing of the group. Is there anybody else that you think would be more appealing than Jarvis Landry?
Well, I like the T.Y. component because of the stretch of field, and that's what he's known for. And obviously, if you can get Julio to recapture some element of what he's been in the past, then that makes sense, too, from a stretch to field standpoint, because you have completely lost that element unless these young guys emerge in regards to having that stretch to field can score quickly component to your offense. And Jarvis doesn't fit that parameter. No, he doesn't. He's definitely more run after the catch, possession type of receiver as opposed to the I'm going to stretch the field.
Right. That's his skill set. And again, when those guys catch the ball, there's significant value in that, clearly. And we don't mind the thought of that whatsoever. Just give me one more. When you say all these things, if he really is demanding real money, you're describing him. You still think it's worth paying Jarvis Landry real money at this point? It's just tough. I know a lot of teams don't necessarily have real money left to spend. But it sounds like you really still believe that Jarvis Landry is worthy of a legitimate contract and maybe not necessarily just a one-year prove-it type of deal?
Yeah, well, also, too, I'm coming from a biased standpoint. Jarvis Landry became one of my favorite players in a Browns uniform. And I don't know if you watched the Hard Knock series with the Browns, but when he made that speech saying what was going on here in Cleveland and how it was going to change, that made me a believer, and then he backed it up. And like I said, I watched him play these past years, and I watched what took place last year, coming back from injury, rushing yourself into it because you're a team player. And again, having a quarterback who was just out of sync and didn't know whether he was coming or going from a confidence standpoint, jacked his numbers up. And then on top of that, with the play calling being one not as advantageous for one guy to shine in this offense, led to what you see. So I still think he's there. I still think he's capable. And what we were paying him, he's not going to get that from teams because, again, teams are going to use the numbers to pay you less. That's just how it works.
Right.
Unless you get a guy who's just flat out like, hey, I love this guy, let's pay him no matter what, which is going to be hard to find. But it does occur every now and then. We used to be one of those teams here in Cleveland that would do that. But not anymore.
I understand. And just another couple minutes here with Gerard Cherry, Brown's sideline reporter for their radio network and 3-time Super Bowl champion. Gerard, what is this like right now in Cleveland with the kind of the unknown about Deshaun Watson and whether or not there's going to be a suspension, the rest of the league trying to blackball the Browns and not trade for Baker Mayfield because they're mad about there being a fully guaranteed contract? Like, what is it like on a day-to-day basis within this organization right now with everything going on?
Well, the main conversation, and it's not just here locally, but appears to be nationally if you ever turn on ESPN, is what's going to happen with Baker Mayfield.
Right.
And my thought is that there's no sense of urgency right now for other teams who want the services of Baker Mayfield, coupled with what you just said, this idea that teams are like, hey, we know you want to get rid of him. We know that you've got your new quarterback under contract, so why are we going to do you a favor? And it's going to take an act of desperation or emergency for teams to want to go ahead and sign up about the Browns not eating anything. So that's where it's at right now. But as far as Deshaun Watson goes, the fan base is excited about what he represents, and there's just a sense of calm around the organization right now that hey, we got some guys in the draft that's going to be able to contribute. And it was one of the few times where the Browns were in the draft and was like, oh, my gosh, if we don't get this guy. Oh, my gosh, if we don't get this guy, we're done. And that was not the sense of feeling. So there's just a sit back, see what we have, and let it play itself out on the football field as opposed to being an off-season champions, which we were for the past 2 seasons, and you saw what that led to.
Is there any possibility that this plays out because of like the fear of a suspension, that the Browns try to hold on to Baker Mayfield into the season and deal him closer to the deadline to try to get through whatever suspension might come for Deshaun Watson?
I've heard that said by several reports, and I think it's one of the funniest things to be said. Baker Mayfield has been removed as the king of the castle with the Cleveland Browns. There's no way unless Jacoby Brissett, Dobbs, and obviously Watson as a player gets hurt, and there are no quarterbacks on the free agent market around, that Baker Mayfield will step foot on the football field as a starting quarterback for the Browns in the regular season. Though all those things would have to take place. When these guys get hurt, these guys are just incompetent, and some other bad things along the way. For Baker Mayfield to be the starter, they have moved on from that. They are done with it. He's on the roster right now because of the simple fact he's owed $18.9 million guaranteed, and they're trying to figure out a way in which not to pay all that.
Well, good luck. Actually, in Baltimore, we'd rather it be a problem, of course, for the Browns.
Believe me, it's a mutual. Believe me.
We'd like for it to We'd like for it to continue to be an issue for them that they can't get an answer for. At Gerard Cherry, of course, you can follow him on Twitter at JRCherry3. Gerard, always appreciate you, man. Thank you for taking a couple of minutes for us this morning.
No problem. Take care.
Gerard Cherry from out in Cleveland. Very high on Jarvis Landry, obviously. Now, he admits he's not unbiased. He's a Jarvis Landry fan. I do think it's, from the sheer numbers perspective, from the idea of you have to add someone, to me, it's the most appealing of what's out there. But again, at a number, right? If Jarvis Landry is really looking for a certain amount of money, I just don't think the Ravens are going to do that. But you can't. You guys can scream and yell all you want about let the guys play. Fine. But it would be it would be negligent for an NFL team to go into a season with 4 actual wide receivers on the roster. That would be insanity. It's not just that you're betting on all of these guys, or at least 3 of these guys working out, which is, for some people, a step too far. It's that you're assuming they're all going to stay healthy, which is nuts. I mean, it's negligence. I definitely agree that at some point you got to let a James Prochet, a Devin Dude, you got to figure out if they're players or not. I understand the theory. But you can't bet your Super Bowl on they'll definitely be players and they'll definitely be healthy and we won't need anyone else. That's crazy. I mean, it's malpractice if you were to do that. And I just don't believe they will. I think they're trying to get a price, and they also, can say, hey, let's see who else might get cut before now and then. And the answer might be that it's not Jarvis Landry, that it's something lesser than Jarvis Landry. It's more of a backup plan to your backup plan to back up your backup plan, if you will. That might be the way that this plays out for the Baltimore Ravens. But I don't know. I like Jarvis Landry as a player.
I like Jarvis. I wanted him on the Ravens a few years before he signed with the Browns.
Yeah.
It just didn't work out. And to Gerard's point, if I'm him, I'm going someplace where they pass the ball.
Yeah, and that's the tricky part, right? It might very well be that the Ravens would like it to be Jarvis Landry. That's the guy they like, and he just sort of says to him, like, nah, dude, sorry.
But, I mean, if he's taken over for Brown, who got 146, and I get it, Bateman's going to get a lot more targets this year, and they're going to use these new tight ends a little bit as well. But if Hollywood Brown got 146 targets last year, right, Landry's going to get a ton of targets.
But then he's not replacing Hollywood Brown. You know what I mean? Like, he's just not the same receiver. Mm-hmm. Their skill sets are so vastly different.
I mean, if he's the guy you go to for a first down, I mean, you have that with Mark Andrews as
Yeah,
well.
it's sort of it's the old Derek Mason role that you're talking about.
Yeah.
And certainly that's his skill set. That's what fits him. How much you're throwing as a whole is an issue there. How you feeling? I guess before we called Mike Bordick, how you feeling? Did you reapply yet? Have you?
No, I'm going through the first layer. I feel okay. It's definitely gotten worse, but I think that's just because I like watermelon. I don't love watermelon, and too much of anything is never a good thing, especially mustard.
Paul's eating half a watermelon that's covered in mustard. Let me see how it looks over there. Let me get me a picture. Okay, all right, man. You're gonna need to reapply soon. You're gonna need to. That is a lot of watermelon.
It's a lot.
That is
of
a
watermelon.
lot of watermelon, dog. Be a tough day.
Honestly, if I had cut it, it probably would have looked less daunting. I just feel
Yes, I agree with that. I think if it had been cut, it would have been like, I got 8 squares I got to get through.
Right.
Because then you just know, you can't guess what the number of bites is that you have to eat in order to get through that.
Right.
But when you see it in squares, you're like, all right, I get through. Once I'm through 3, I'm 37% of the way done, right? And like you can do that math. You can't really figure out exactly how far through it you are. All right, hour number 1 of today's show is in the books. Tonight, Stan the Fan Charles and Gary Stein are going to welcome Towson football coach Rob Ambrose. Facebook Live, facebook.com/PressBoxSports for a fun conversation. If you missed it earlier on the week, Stan and Ross Grimsley chatted with, of course, former Orioles catcher Rick Dempsey, talking about Adley Rutschman, talking about baseball in general. Those shows always available. Facebook.com/PressBoxSports. Click on the videos tab. PressBoxOnline.com/video or YouTube.com/PressBoxOnline are always the ways to go about finding those shows. Tonight, Stan the Fan Charles with Gary Stein and Rob Ambrose. You just hung up on him, didn't you? Just hung up. Is the mustard going to your brain? That's what's happening there?
Something like
just,
that. I'm gonna call him right
Just
now.
hung up on Mike Bordick. All right, Mike, here we go. Click. What a jerk move. Nice guy, Mike Bordick. You're a bad guy. Paul, legitimate. This is exactly how it happened. He called Mike Bordick, said, hey, Mike, thanks for coming on today. You good to go? All right. Hung up on him. That is a straight shoot thing that happened. I'm Mike Bordick. I'm like, all right. I guess that's that. Oh. We have fun here. Joining us now, you hear him on 105.7 The Fan and Baltimore Baseball Tonight. Of course, Orioles Hall of Famer and a man that at his age looks, I wish that at any point in my life I looked as good with my shirt off as this man does. He is Mike Bordick, and he's back with us here on GCR. What's going on, Mike? How are you, sir?
I'm great. How you guys doing today?
Oh, I apologize. Oh, there we go. There it is. Hey, Mike, how you doing, buddy?
Here we go. Hey, I'm good. How about you guys? Everybody good?
Everything's all right. So, Mike, you are, you and I have talked about some of the strange foods that I've seen you consume, but you do it for health reasons. We are, my friend Paul is paying off a bet this morning and is consuming a half of watermelon covered in mustard.
Yummy.
Really?
No,
Okay,
no,
thank
heck
you.
no.
Thank you.
No,
Thank you.
I wouldn't do that. That's nasty.
And I've seen some of the things that you eat. You are fearless when it comes to food.
Well, I don't mind experimenting as long as it's kind of considered healthy.
Yeah.
And, I know watermelon's good for you. And mustard's probably not too bad for you either, but it's just that combination might be I don't know if that's going to sit very well.
I try to bite. This is a thing. This is like an internet fad is the reason why we made it the payoff. There is no reason for it to be an internet fad. I try to bite. It sucks. There is just no need for this whatsoever.
Right.
Hey, Mike, let's talk about a couple of things. One, what we seen, I know last night was no good, but the Orioles before that had won 7 of 10. And the way that I tried to say it yesterday is, look, the most likely scenario to me is this is not the moment where everything changed for this franchise. But going into this season, I think a lot of us that were reasonable were saying to ourselves, we just want to see some signs of progress, that you're not going to be moribund anymore. And whatever happens over the next couple of weeks, and I know at some point Adley Rutschman will be here, but I feel like even stretches like this, even if they're fleeting, even if it's just 2 or 3 stretches of really good baseball, I do feel like is some sort of sign about an organization that's taking a step forward? Am I lowering the bar too much, or is there something to be said for, hey, no matter how this goes, these are the types of positive signs that you're looking for as an organization?
No, I think you're exactly right. And, they might be a little bit surprised how this year is going. I think overall the pitching, in my opinion, has been a huge surprise.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know everybody's kind of capable of doing a nice job at the major league level. They've all had, experience to some degree. But one way or another, Brandon Hyde, the pitching coaches, have found a way to really capitalize on their confidence. And I just believe that at the major league level, that mental stability is probably more important, and in many cases, than physical tools. I think if you believe in yourself and you get off to a good start, positive things really tend to happen. And that's really, I think, what's gone on with the pitching staff as a whole, both bullpen and, starters alike. Yesterday, I think probably the worst game of the year as far as from a pitching standpoint. Watkins has been really good. He just made some mistakes over the middle of the plate. But they've all kind of picked up the slack a little bit. And who knows, maybe it was the fact that John Means, was lost for the year that everybody said, wow, we better pick it up a little bit. And sure enough, they have. And I agree with what you're saying. They have been fun to watch. It was a super homestand. They finally started swinging the bats more consistently, getting big hits. And I think just the nucleus of this team is set up to where now you can start building around it. And I know there's great anticipation and excitement about Adley Rutschman finally making it up to the big leagues. Well, he is not going to be, the savior and make everything, all of a sudden all rosy.
How dare you, sir? How dare you, Mike Bordick?
Hey, listen, he's going to be really good, that's for sure. But he, in my opinion, is that piece that all of a sudden lets everybody know is, okay, here we go. Now the Mike Elias era has arrived. Adley Rutschman's here, and now we can start adding on the pieces. The Grayson Rodriguez, the Hall, some of the younger infielders will start getting some exposure. But they have, like I said, a great nucleus with Cedric Mullins, Austin Hayes finally starting to come into his own and remain healthy. And I think Mateo is part of that as well, along with Mountcastle. So really good pieces to build around at the major league level. And now you start inserting some of these prospects that have been so highly touted for so long. So definitely an exciting time, I think, for the organization.
Let's go to the pitching, Mike, because I feel like that's where in judging this season, one of the things I said is, who are the guys that are going to maybe take themselves out of the question mark column and move themselves into the column of players that can be part of the solution? And, the Bruce Zimmerman thing is a revelation, right? Like, what I don't know what to make of it. And we can throw in that Tyler Wells has pitched really well. And we'll get to Kyle Bradish here in a second because he was kind of closer to the high hopes. But is this sustainable, what we've seen from the likes of Zimmerman and Tyler Wells? Do you believe they're really coming into their own versus, hey, a lot of pitchers have a really good month during the course of their career that don't necessarily pan out to be like really good pitchers?
Well, I think Zimmerman is maybe the most intriguing part of this. I think Bradish he's just got incredible life and movement on all of his pitches. He seems to be extremely legit. And I think the fact that since Zimmerman, he had moments of brilliance last year, the first half of the season. And then, whether it be fatigue or just overexposure, he got hit around a little bit the second half of the season, and maybe some health as well. But I'll tell you what, he has incredible confidence in his changeup. He's almost throwing it more than his fastball. He's got a very solid mix right now. And when guys like Zimmerman that all of a sudden are starting to get into their prime age, when they all of a sudden something flicks on mentally and they have had success at the major league level, then it is in there. It's in their body. They know they can do it. And now it's just a matter of finding that consistent mental approach, which Zimmerman seems to have kind of harnessed here in the early going. and then you just try to run with it. And the more repetitions you get, I think, at the major league level, the easier it is to kind of sustain that and kind of make those subtle adjustments that keep you in ball games, keep your team in ball games, and have very solid career. So, no, I'm not going to go out and say that this is a flash in the pan. I think there's legitimate hope for, optimism with Zimmerman, Bradish included. I think some of the other guys, you're gonna see the ups and downs, but I think those guys could be and should be mainstays in the rotation. And as far as the bullpen arms go, I think bullpens are always I think you can always kind of mix and match in bullpens, but they're very complementary to each other right now. And there are some great arms. And my only concern is, and I think throughout baseball, is that bullpens just get overexposed now. There's no surprising. Everybody knows what they have. So that's my only concern out of the bullpen, but they've definitely been riding a nice wave. It's good to see Fry put together some, consecutive outings now where he's limited base runners, thrown very well. So a lot of positives, I think, across the board from the pitching standpoint.
He is Mike Bordick. He is with us here on GCR, Baltimore Baseball Tonight on 105.7 The Fan. Mike, you mentioned Rutschman a second ago. So what are reasonable expectations to have? Because, I wrote about this for Pressbox this week. Orioles fans are treating Adley Rutschman like he's going to be an amalgamation of Mike Piazza's bat and Pudge Rodriguez as a catcher, right? Like, we are so through the roof when it comes to what our expectation level is for Adley Rutschman. We were through the roof on Matt Wieters, and our expectations are higher for Adley Rutschman, right? What's fair? Because I do have a small part of me that fears that we're sort of setting up. Matt Wieters was a really good baseball player, and yet when you ask the average Orioles fan, they'll describe him as a bust because they thought he was going to be Jesus in cleats, right?
Right.
What is a fair, reasonable expectation level to have for Adley Rutschman, who we all know is a really critical piece of this thing working for the Orioles moving forward?
Well, I'm going to say this about Adley Rutschman, and a little bit of a comparison to Matt Wieters. And I think Matt Wieters had a great career. He won a couple Gold Gloves. Was he as consistent as we'd all hoped with the bat? I don't think so. But he was a very solid defensive catcher, had a great big league career. And I think we should all hope that Adley Rutschman can have the career that Matt Wieters had. Now, that being said, I believe if Rutschman can stay healthy throughout his career, that he has more to offer. I think everybody's a little suspect until they actually prove themselves at the major league level, but he's certainly shown throughout his minor league career that he has the ability to hit the baseball. Very strong defensively, strong arm, and we all hope that he can stay healthy. The one intangible that I think really separates Rutschman from Wieters is his leadership capabilities. Rutschman, from day one that I saw him, he was just an incredible leader. Took the bull by the horns, is not afraid to be verbal and vocal with his pitching staff, really has a commitment. And I think the fact that he was exposed to a guy like Chirinos and Bemboom, who both have those kind of qualities and have really taken great control of the pitching staff to this point, will only bode so very, very well for Rutschman when he comes up, along with his own natural leadership skills. So there's going to be a learning curve, but I think his exposure to big league camps over a number of years now and knowing the players, and I think everybody's going to be extremely welcoming of Adley Rutschman. He's worked with so many guys. I think when Rutschman comes up, that's just going to be a green light to start moving some of these other big arms in the minor leagues up to continue to work with Rutschman, and he will be the foundation and really the true backbone, I think, of what it takes to have a successful team. And when I think of backbone, I think obviously the middle of the infield, but it's anchored by the catcher and then, of course, the shortstop, second baseman, and center fielder. They've already got Mullins out there. I think Mateo is an incredibly gifted young athlete that's proven his worth at shortstop already. can make those plays in the hole. So I think Rutschman is just going to be a great foundation piece for this organization moving forward.
And by the way, we sure as hell hope you're right, Mike Bordick, because they need that. All right, what's going on with you, my friend? What's going on with the baseball warehouse? What's going on? All the charity things that you do. What's happening in your life?
Yeah, well, thanks for asking. But so many wonderful things. And this weekend, man, is there a great collaboration with the League of Dreams, of course, our nonprofit that gives special needs kids opportunities to play baseball and softball, the Baseball Warehouse, and Debbie Phelps, who has
Michael
been
Phelps'
such a
mom.
major
Yeah.
part. Yeah, exactly. A major part of Baltimore County's public school system. We're having a huge event, and she spearheaded this called the Let's Play Ball campaign to bring awareness and gratitude to all the administrators and teachers in Baltimore County that have really endured such a hard time over the last couple years to help our kids. So a charity softball game along with a League of Dream event with the Allied Sports kids from Baltimore County Public Schools as well. And that's going to be held over at Carver School of Technology and Arts right over there off York Road. And that's going to be from 12 to 4. On Saturday afternoon, there's going to be a live band, face painting, all kinds of great activities. It's just going to be a great celebration, I think, of our Baltimore County public school system. So excited to be a part of that.
Should we point people to leagueofdreams.org in order to find out more?
Yeah, absolutely. LeagueofDreams.org will definitely have information there.
And I know you've been with your friends at Alloy Sports giving out some NBA betting advice the last couple of weeks.
How about that?
Yeah,
thanks for mentioning that. Yeah, young startup company I'm so excited to be a part of. Couple great kids out of Pikesville started this, Brad and Spencer Kronthal. And, they started Alloy Sports, a research-based betting platform where you can create your own algorithms. It's so intriguing and exciting to be a part of. Yeah, NBA is going right now, and we are going to be ready and fired up to launch the NFL and college football at the end of the summer.
You know, Mike, Brad was an intern of mine once upon a time, and now I'm going to find myself begging him for a job here at some point in the next couple of years because, my God, it's incredible what he's done.
Yeah, absolutely.
Of course, you can follow Mike on Twitter at @MBordick. Mike Bordick, always appreciate you, my friend. Thank you for hopping on with us for a couple minutes this morning. Let's do it again soon, all right?
Yeah, thanks for having me, and thanks for bringing that great stuff up. I really appreciate
always happy to do it, man. Mike Bordick. Checking in with us here on GCR. I'm just struggling with the reasonable expectations versus the reality of the circumstances for the Orioles and Adley Rutschman. Admittedly, I'm just struggling. I'm struggling with that. That, like, when he says, you got to hope that Adley Rutschman has Matt Wieters' career. Well, yeah, that's true. But if he does, I don't think there's a chance in hell that the Orioles are competing to win a World Series at any point. I just don't see it. I don't see how they're making up the difference. I think any path to the Orioles competing for a World Series, short of suddenly becoming a team that spends a lot of money, right? Like, short of as this begatting, I don't know if that's the right form of that word, begatting a World Series contender has to involve Adley Rutschman being a middle-of-the-order caliber bat in addition to being a high-level catcher. Because how else is it getting there? Again, within reason, right? Like, if your answer is because Kyle Stowers becomes an absolute superstar, okay, maybe. Like, sure. But I don't think Kyle Stowers is turning into Mookie Betts. I think that's unreasonable.
He's really struggling right now.
Yeah, he is. He's struggling a great deal. And he tried to kill Adley Rutschman the other day, so he nearly was taken out. By the joke that I made on Twitter has been really awkward losing two prospects in the same afternoon, Adley to injury and Kyle Stowers to firing squad, because that's the way it would have had to have gone. There isn't a reasonable picture that you can paint for me of a World Series contender. I think reasonably you could see, hey, even if Adley Rutschman becomes Matt Wieters, you could create a competitive baseball team.
Mm-hmm.
The Grayson Rodriguez, DL Hall get here. John Means returns. Bruce Zimmerman continues to be the guy that he's here. You got yourself a rotation, right? Like, you can paint that picture for me. But a World Series contender? A team that can beat the best teams in baseball, win a World Series? I don't see that without Adley Rutschman being a bona fide superstar.
Yeah, the season that Matt Wieters put up in 2008 in the minor leagues, Rutschman hasn't come close to that. The year that he put up in 2008 and then the start that he got off to in 2009 before he got called up, which is where, like, I remember how I felt. I remember going to buy tickets the day after it was announced that Wieters was coming to Baltimore. And it was a very similar feeling to this. This time around, I've tempered my expectations a little bit. I still expect him to be a great player, but I've tempered my expectations a little bit because we thought that you heard the names, Mauer with power, Jesus and cleats, and he never became. He was very good, but he never became that.
He was an excellent player. Like, he was an absolutely outstanding player. And when we talk about, by the way, how's that going over there?
I got to pick up the pace.
Yeah, you gotta get going. And we still have to talk to Poot, Trey Chaney from The Wire, and now We Own This City is going to join us a little bit later on. I'm looking forward to that conversation. He's playing Gordon Hawk on We Own This City, one of the Hartford County cops that helps sort of break open the GTTF, the rampant conspiracy and everything they were doing.
Poot, what a Baltimore name, Poot.
Yes, you're right. Paul's eating his watermelon, and he still has to sing too. He still has to do a little performance for us.
That's punishment for the.
Luckily, you know all the words by heart. "The Thunder" by Imagine Dragons.
It was my walk-up song one year for my baseball team.
There you go. My children love that song.
I'm gonna have to find like a karaoke version on YouTube.
We'll just play the music in the background. We'll be fine.
I don't know all the words.
Well, then, yeah, you'll just pull up the lyrics then, or you can print. We have a printer. You can print the lyrics.
I need to know how the song goes.
What? What do you mean you need to know how the song goes?
I need to know the rhythm that I'm supposed to keep.
Boy, you really dynamite preparation for today. No Tommy Bahama shirt. I don't remember how the song goes. Any of it.
I know how the
song goes.
goes.
You know what? It's better that you don't. It'll create better content that you don't. I've changed my mind. It's better that you're not prepared for this. Much better for all parties involved.
This really sucks.
I'm glad he got to that point. Thank you. I'm glad we've gotten to the point where you're miserable. That makes me very happy. This was supposed to be a real price that you're paying.
I think it's a mental thing, knowing that I have so much to go.
It doesn't even look like you're like a third of the way through it.
I'm not. That's why I say during the next break I got to find a knife. I got to find a knife. That's a knife. That's a knife.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if we have. I don't know if we keep knives around here. Not after the incident. We don't talk about the incident. We just don't talk about it. It occurred.
Was there an actual incident?
No, there wasn't an actual incident, Paul.
John Colson went a little nuts.
There's a moment yesterday in our fantasy football league. John Proctor sent everybody this video. Apparently, some cricket player hit a ball entirely out of a stadium, like entirely out of the stadium. It was mesmerizing, and he shares the video with everybody in the fantasy football league. And one of our friends, who's not really into sports, says back like, "So I'm assuming this is good." To which, hang on, I'm going to share exactly what I said back. We had a lot of fun with this yesterday. I said back, oh boy, hang on a second. We're on Discord because we don't want the government to see what it is that we're saying. It's very important. I said back, oddly, no. They make you go get the ball yourself, and you're out of the game until you find it. It's a real hassle. And I swear to God, I saw my friend Brad last night, who's not really a sports fan, and he says, like, so you're joking, right? Like, so like, no, Brad, it's like the Sandlot. The game's over until you go find the ball. Everybody's pissed.
So in cricket, isn't it you hit the ball and you try to run back and forth between the posts until they get the ball back in? Isn't that basically how you score?
I believe I played. We had a history teacher who, or maybe it was a geography teacher, I want to say, who had us play cricket in high school, I want to say. Like, that was part of the, like, we took a day of class and we went out and played cricket. I loved it. We had a great time. I don't remember anything about it. I remember nothing about it. And I have bet on some dumb things. I bet on the Stetka Cup, right? By the way, are we good? We good for tomorrow? We covered?
I meant to bring this stuff up. I got 2 normal ping pong paddles.
Yeah?
And I got children's ping pong paddles for the interns.
We'll let them play with real ping pong paddles.
No, they're interns, man.
No, we're going to let them play with real ping pong paddles.
They're interns, damn it.
We're doing a tournament. Proctor told me he's coming in tomorrow. I have not gotten the Old Bay Goldfish yet. I would like to try the Old Bay vodka for sure. We're having a kind of a fun day, a getaway day for the interns.
And D.L. Hall.
Oh, and D.L. Hall's going to join the program tomorrow, too. That's right. Cass was going to do the Bridgerton ball thing, but I'll believe it when I see it, is where I'm at. I'll believe it. I think she's going to try to legitimately come in here. I think she will actually put the effort in, whereas the rest of us were never going to put the effort in. Andrew Stecca will be here. He will be consuming this tarantula. He will be getting his back waxed during the course of the morning, and I feel like there was something else that he had to do, but I've already forgotten what it was. I feel
He
like
has to sing Hero.
Oh, that's right. Hero. Yes. From the original Spider-Man movie. I'm looking forward. I bet he's going to, you know what? I think that turns into a company-wide sing-along. I think that ends up being a very beautiful moment when we do this tomorrow. So we're having a fun day, and then we're going to follow it up. We're going to order some food, and we're going to hang out, and we're going to play the Stetka Cup in the conference room where we're going to convert. So you're planning on doing the thing where you set up like cups as the net for the ping pong table?
I'm working on something. I haven't figured out just yet. I wanted to do the soda plastics,
right,
like they did in the office, but I don't know how they got. I guess I could just tape them together, but I don't have.
That's not that hard.
I don't
you
have
could do
soda,
that.
and I don't want to just go buy a bunch of sodas to not drink them, or drink them even though I don't want to. And
you could buy really generic soda that costs like $1 a piece.
Yeah,
you could do that.
I could. I used to love the Gateway brand of cream soda when I was a kid.
The Gateway brand?
Yeah, I can't say the actual grocery
store
name.
Sorry. I was like, I thought you were trying to say something else, like it was a gateway drug. Like that's what I thought you were trying to go with there.
It was my gateway soda drug.
It was a gateway into. I feel like you need to reapply.
Yes,
I feel like
point.
it's time to reapply the mustard.
I don't think you
watermelon.
understand how much this has started to suck.
Oh, I believe that it's. Dude, I sat here and ate bull balls all morning. I've done these. I ate a whole bowl of crickets, man. I've been there. It's the totality of the food. Like I did not enjoy
it's totalitarianism.
It's totalitarian. It's disestablishmentarianism, is what it is. Anti-disestablishmentarianism.
That was a something about Mary reference. You have to visualize it in its totalitarianism.
Oh, damn it. Not bad. Not bad. But you needed to say it that way. You needed to say you got to visualize it in this totalitarianism. I don't know what happened here. I have no idea.
I'm going to go through this entire thing of mustard.
Yeah, you are.
This is
100%.
I almost dropped the F-bomb.
At some point, we're going to see it in your face, and there's going to be genuine concern, and I'm going to tell you.
I almost gagged a little bit ago, but I was facing the other way.
The gagging's not going to be what gets you to it's going to be when I think you're going to die. It's going to be when I'm worried about a lawsuit. I
think this is like torture.
When I fear that Mrs. Valley is going to personally sue me, I should have had you sign a waiver. You know what? Maybe during the next break, we're going to sign a waiver.
I'm signing nothing.
You son of a bitch. You did this on your own volition. All right?
I would not have done this if you hadn't made it.
I did not force you in any way. We all agreed that this is what we were going to do. We all agreed to pay the price. All right?
It's like I had the option of saying, no, I'm not doing that. If I
I was going to fire you on the spot, you're quitting. How can I fire you?
Then I'm not going to Limp Bizkit on Sunday.
Oh, you son of a bitch. No, you
just gave me an out.
You're just welching on your bets.
You just gave me an out.
I'm not worried about you getting sued on Sunday. You have to go to Limp Bizkit. I'm not worried about there being a lawsuit involved. I'm not worried. Well, there might be physical.
I'm going
there
to
might be.
Limp Bizkit.
Oh, you're excited about going to Limp Bizkit.
I'm not.
Don't lie.
I'm not.
My buddy is trying to convince me to go.
So
I was supposed to go see Seven Dust with my buddy Brandon on Friday night at Ram's Head. And my wife, because we weren't able to go out for our anniversary on Tuesday, has now demanded we go out on Friday night. So I said, hey, pal, I love you. I just don't think I'm going to be able to go to Seven Dust, which is a bummer for me. I love Seven Dust. I'm all in. We went and saw them together a couple years ago, and I nearly killed him. My buddy Brandon from Ram's Head, who is part of Jobbing Out, Brandon had cancer. I went, it was like a January show, and Seven Dust was playing Ram's Head. We went. We had a great time. The next morning, I woke up and I felt like crap. I mean, just utter crap. I went to the doctor. I was like, dude, I feel like death. And they're like, you have the flu. I was like, I got the flu shot. I'm like, how do I have the flu? I got a flu shot. They're like, oh, the flu shot's only about 80% effective this year. You beat the odds. I was like, oh, cool. Great. Then I realized I had been hanging out with my friend Brandon at the Seven Dust show who had cancer, whose cell counts were down a little bit, who was at a bit of risk when it comes to things like the flu. And I had to make that awkward phone call to my friend with cancer and say, hey, buddy, one, love you. Hope you know that. Two, I might have killed you. you might want to go make sure you don't have the flu and talk to your doctor about whatever the risk is, because I went and watched Seven Dust with you, and as it turns out, I had the flu. It's like, you are a dick. Like, you are a terrible human being. Like, I know, I'm aware, but I'm calling you. It's like, I think I said to him, like, I feel like this must be what it's like to find out you have herpes. Like, you got to make some awkward phone calls, right? Like, there's someone you got to call and say, so, hey, what's up? How's life going? By the way, go to a doctor. Like, that's what it felt like in that moment that I was doing, is I was calling him to say, remember that unprotected sex we had the other night?
You said it was a fling, but it wasn't a fling to me.
Right, correct. It meant a little bit more than that.
By the way, you have herpes.
Yes, correct. It was exactly right. It's exactly like that, as I had to call him to tell him that I had the flu while he had cancer. So I was supposed to go see Seven Dust. Can't go see Seven Dust. Well, I think it's just because their company is involved with the show. I'd like to hope it's not because he actually wants to go to the show, but he has to go to the Limp Bizkit show on Sunday night.
Mm-hmm.
And so
I'll see you there.
he's like, oh, you can't go to Seven Dust? No problem. You can just go with me to Limp Bizkit on Sunday night. I said, I would rather die. I would rather eat that watermelon right now. Like, I would sooner do that than go to the Limp. Why? What was the bet? What was the Limp Bizkit bet for? It was when the baseball season was going to start.
Yeah.
It was when the baseball season was going to start.
My dumbass thought it was going to start on time.
They're playing Madison Square Garden tomorrow night. They're playing the most famous arena on the face of the planet tomorrow night.
God, it's going to be like 2/3 empty.
I can't believe that's a thing that's happening. There's just no way. I get New York's a huge market, and so there's way more people that could go, but I just can't believe that. You know who's coming to town next week? And I really actually want to go?
Gavin DeGraw.
No, not Gavin. What a weird bit that was. He's so excited about Gavin DeGraw in 2022. I can't even come up with a comparison for that.
It's like being excited for like Justin Guarini in 2010.
Yeah, it's kind of, well, he's a little sweet, He's a little sweet.
Yeah,
I don't know what he would be doing. I don't know what songs he would play.
All Dr. Pepper.
Wheatus
Wheatus
is playing it's a little place called the Metro Gallery. They're playing there. Here's the only issue I have. I would go to see Wheatus. It's only like $20 to go, just because Teenage Dirtbag is one of the greatest songs of a generation. I would go to that. But they're like, the show is with someone else called like MC Lars, and just reading about who this person is, I said to myself, I don't think this is something I want to watch. And maybe I'm wrong about that, but I just wanted you to listen to this description of MC Lars. This is the shows at Metro on next Thursday night. I got kickball. I don't know if I could go anyway. MC Lars is the creator of post-punk laptop rap. Nope. I'm out. Don't even finish the sentence. I'm pretty sure it ain't for me. Post-punk laptop rap and lit hop, which he has extended and powered into a fusion of rap, punk, rock, ska, pop, and other genres.
This is turning into soup.
Oh boy! I like this.
I like
the face you're making right now. It's making the face you're making right now is giving me great joy.
It's turning into soup.
I am so. Hang on a second. See if I can somehow capture the misery of you eating your mustard watermelon right now. Paul is it has turned. The moment has turned, and he is no longer.
I was enthused after the first couple bites. I was like, this isn't bad. No, this is awful.
I feel like that's typically the way this goes when it's a massive amount of any type of food. Is that after a little, I'm trying to remember what the other thing was. So Ken did the spaghetti-o, oh God, the milk and spaghetti-o pie. Ugh. He did that. Yeah, that's exactly right. I did something else that was turbo gross. I did the bull balls, and there was something else, and I can't remember what it was.
Mayonnaise sandwiches?
Oh my God, the peanut butter and mayonnaise sandwiches, 100%. Actually, that was never really pleasant at all. There was never even a moment where that was pleasant. That was just disturbing from start to finish. Our buddy from Tim from Bel Air came and prepared those. All right, I don't know what we're doing. We're just hanging out. When we come back in, we're going to chat with Poot. We're going to talk to Poot, Trey Chaney, who played Poot on The Wire and is now Gordon Hawk on We Own This City. We're going to talk to him. That's coming up. Today's show also brought to you by Glory Days Grill. They would not serve you mustard watermelon at Glory Days Grill. They've got a seasonal menu that's far better than that. Strawberry salmon salad, the opener, the flash fried pork belly with the Korean No. 2 sauce, so much more. GloryDaysGrill.com is the website to get your order in. Glory Days Grill. Great food, good sports. Trey Chaney's next. This is Glenn Clark Radio.
Fans, the wait is over. The all-new FanDuel Sportsbook is now open at Live Casino and Hotel in Hanover, Maryland. This is your chance to win big right in your own backyard. Bet on every sport with self-service kiosks and watch all of the action from the best seat in the house. Make every moment more at the all-new FanDuel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel in Hanover. Please play responsibly. Gambling problem? Please call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit mdgamblinghelp.org.
The biggest pro wrestling stars today and all time all have one thing in common. You've heard them on Jobbing Out.
Matt and Nick Jackson, the Young Bucks.
Thanks for having us, man. Appreciate it.
The great Kurt Angle.
Thanks for having me on the show. I appreciate it.
Matt Riddle.
Yeah, man. Thanks, man.
The champ, Drew McIntyre.
Oh, thank you for having me.
The great Ron Simmons.
Keith Lee.
Appreciate you guys having me, man.
Bill Goldberg.
My pleasure.
Charlotte.
Thank you so much for having me.
Mick Foley is with us.
This is the greatest name for a wrestling show I've ever heard.
MJF.
I'm glad you're happy I'm on this show because I'm freaking miserable.
Le champion!
Chris Jericho.
Le champion.
AJ, Aaron, Brandon, and Glenn are talking pro wrestling every week on Jobbing Out. Find it at PressBoxOnline.com/radio, iTunes, and SoundCloud.
Answering Baltimore's calls for help, running in when others run away, working together toward one shared vision for a thriving city. That's your Baltimore Police. But the department needs more good people, people like you. Join a proud new generation of Baltimore Police and make an active difference in your community. Start with competitive wages and excellent benefits on day one. Join for good at bpdrecruit.org.
Stan the Fan here, welcoming back one of my favorite sponsors, the Costas Inn. And everybody around Baltimore knows the Costas Inn is a great place to go and grab crabs, steaks, salads, soups, whatever's on your mind to eat in person. But did you know that the Costas Inn has upped their game? They are now one of the premier takeout places in Baltimore. Give them a call now to order your food, 410-477-1975. That's the Costas Inn over 4100 North Point Boulevard.
The latest edition of Press Box is available now. On the cover, Luke Jackson profiles Orioles catcher Adley Rutschman, diving into where his passion for baseball and for catching comes from and how he uses that passion to elevate those around him in the Orioles organization. Also inside, Bo Smolka takes a look at how the Ravens' 2021 draft picks can make progress in year two, and Glenn Clark offers a very unique tribute to former rival Mike Krzyzewski that all Maryland fans can appreciate. Press Box is available for free at over 500 area locations, including 60 Royal Farm stores, and you can always find the entire edition, as well as the best daily coverage of the Orioles, Ravens, and Terps at PressBoxOnline.com.
Stay tuned. Your chance to win $1 million is coming up. Probably not from us. You're listening to Glenn Clark Radio.
All right, a couple things right here. One, Dove Kleiman, who I hate giving this person attention, is a guy on Twitter who got to get a blue check mark because he just takes things that other people are saying and he regurgitates them. Like that's it. That's all this person is. But he gets a blue check mark because of it. And you know what? Maybe Elon. Maybe he can help us. Said the following this morning, got a little of attention. He said Ravens and Eagles discussed a trade for safety Chuck Clark during the draft, according to Adam Kaplan, who is a legitimate reporter. The Ravens showed interest in wide receiver Jalen Reagor, but the talks died down. So a couple things in there. One, I don't know where this comes from. I don't know if Adam Kaplan said this on a podcast or on a radio show or something like that. I can't find the actual source. If Adam Kaplan said this, Adam Kaplan is about as plugged in with the Eagles as anybody is. So if he said this, then it's 100% true. There's no question. All I know right now is that someone else said that Adam Kaplan said this. I don't have anything more than that. Why you'd be interested in Jalen Reagor, I mean, I get it. You would say, hey, we scouted him well. Yes, it hasn't worked out in Philly, but we want to give him a shot. Okay. I mean, we've all seen it. I don't think there's much of anything there, but, you know, sure. I mean, I guess. I think it's going back to there's not a lot to be had. Oh, Paul, really, it's starting to Now this is the problem. I can't tell if he's making the face because he's trying to get me to be merciful and say he can bail, or
this is torture.
You're gonna have to go at least a little bit more.
No, I'm not asking you to make me stop. I'm not asking you to let me stop. I'm a man.
Right.
I'm gonna man up and do this.
When it feels like we've all been there. When it feels like the next bite will be your death. Then we stop. You know your body better than I know your body.
My tongue just has a layer of mustardy watermelon.
That part
on
is unpleasant, but not death. When it feels like I was supposed to eat a pound of bull balls, I physically could not do it. Like I physically could not
How much does
get.
one bull ball weigh?
Not as much as you'd think, right? Given the size of a bull,
Yeah.
like a pound of bull balls was insane. It was a giant effing mound of bull balls. I did everything in my power to eat as much as I could, and then I just reached a point where I was like, I physically cannot do this.
That's something where I think if I bit into it, I'd probably.
It definitely was that.
Bite.
Yes, it was that.
Were they at least fried?
Yeah, I mean they were air fried. Our buddy Tim from Bel Air fried them for me.
You got deep fry those things.
He put them in the air fryer. That was the route that they went.
And then throw out that deep fryer.
Yeah, right. Never used it again. 100%. I get it. At some point, your body will tell you. That's it. I physically am not capable of eating anything more. And when it does, I will respect you as a competitor, as a man, and I will say I get it. I will also tell you I screwed up. And the day I did the peanut butter sandwiches, I held it all together, and then about 45 minutes after the show, they all went right into a toilet over there. I'm just saying I would prefer it for the sake of the show. If that moment comes, that you do it right here, that the puking happens right here with the trash can next to you. I let everybody down because it was literally sat here for a little bit after the show, conversed, and then said, I need to excuse myself, and went into that bathroom, and things happened. If that's going to occur, I merely ask that you do it.
The one by the elevator?
Yes, that was the bathroom that I
was
went to.
hoping that maybe there's a bathroom right here that I didn't know about, so I have to stop running all the way out there. And then
No, I assure you, there's one bathroom.
Pretty sweet. Press box needs a bathroom.
It's not
in here.
happening. There's one bathroom. It's right there. Maybe the new location will have a closer bathroom. I don't know what to tell you. But I'm just saying, if it's going to occur, I simply ask that it occur here in the studio where everybody can see it and witness it.
You stand up, giggling, holding the microphone next to my face.
I'll hold your hair for you and everything. I'll treat you exactly like I treated Mrs. Clark the night of your wedding. well, not exactly.
Just leave me lying here because I don't want to go.
I will let her pass. I will let you pass out on the bathroom floor. I'm happy here. Okay, Mrs. Clark, enjoy your evening. I'll be in watching the game. Let me know if there's anything more I can do for you. I am not going to fight you about this. You want to sleep on the floor of the bathroom? You may. No issue whatsoever. Mrs. Clark had herself an evening at the Valley's wedding. She had herself about 5 or 6 evenings at the Valley's wedding, as it turns out. All right. Today's show also brought to you by the print issue of Press Box, which is available right now and does have Adley Rutschman on the cover. Go find it at your neighborhood Royal Farms, any of the hundreds of locations around town where you find Press Box or read it all, PressBoxOnline.com. One other thing this morning, an actual reporter down in New Orleans named Nick Underhill is saying that the Saints-Ravens game will be a Monday night game, which I only care about because, as I told you guys yesterday, I'm planning on taking Mrs. Clark to that game, and that's sort of inconvenient for us. But, hey, maybe we can make a long weekend down in New Orleans out of it. But that's the deal. Ravens-Saints, according to an actual reporter down in New Orleans named Nick Underhill, will be a Monday night football game. He reports for WWL-TV. All right, had to do this a little bit earlier because of he's filming. He's got a filming schedule, but I had a really great opportunity, and it ended up being a lengthy conversation that I had with the man that you knew as Poot from The Wire. He was one of the only characters that survived the drug trade. And now he's back on We Own This City on HBO as Gordon Hawk. He is Trey Chaney, and he's with us now here on GCR. Well, we've been talking a lot about We Own This City over the last couple of weeks. You guys are watching it every Monday night on HBO. And, man, I'm really excited about this, dude, because joining us now, once upon a time, you knew this man as Poot.
And now you see him as Gordon Hawk on We Own This City. It's so cool that Trey Chaney is with us here on GCR. Trey, it's Glenn in Baltimore. It's so good to catch up with you, man. Thank you for taking a couple of minutes for us.
Hey Glenn, thank you, man. I'm excited to be on. You know, we've been planning this for a long time now. So to finally be on, I'm excited. And go ahead.
I know you're busy filming. I know how this works. Like, Josh is one of my best friends, man. And even it was like trying to nail down the time. I'm like,
Josh Charles, man. Shout out to Josh Charles, man. That's my brother. We had so much fun at the New York premiere of We Own This City. It was crazy.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Trey, dude, just take me through. I talked to Delaney about this a couple weeks ago.
Right.
Being back 20 years later. And I guess for you, because you were in every season, it was more like 15 years later. But being back all this time later, working with David, working with some of these guys that you've known, how do you describe what that experience was like for you being back here in Baltimore to film this?
Man, it was a full circle moment for me and all of us, from David Simon to George Pelicanos, Nina Noble, Ed Burns. I mean, the same team that the reason why I'm here today, like being discovered on The Wire. And God, man, it was just a surreal moment for me because a lot of people don't know I kept in touch with David Simon for the last 20 years.
Wow.
Even during The Wire, once The Wire ended, every now and then you'll shoot him a text or email around holidays, birthdays, or, just to check on the family. And he kept his word. He always said, look, when something comes up, when I got the right thing, I'm going to call you. And just me going on about my business, still, being in this business, doing other projects like Saints and Sinners and On Bounce TV and, Streets with Meek Mill and my own documentary, Undeniable. He called 20 years later with the same Wire crew. And he's like, look, we got this project. We own this city. Totally different role for you. Yeah. You'll be playing this police officer, Gordon Hawk. You'll be playing this police officer, Gordon Hawk. And he's with the Harford County Narcotics Task Force. And I'm like, this is the perfect role for me, right? So Dre Severino, a detective out there in Baltimore, I just remember, man, being on set, going through all of the training, walking like a police officer, knowing how to wear the badge, where to put the gun. Even that scene that you seen me when I had to slide under the truck and put the tracker under it, that was like real choreography, and my back was hurting for like a week after that because I had to do it like 50 times, right?
Oh, and legitimately on asphalt. Oh, man.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. But it was amazing, man. And then just this story of, the Baltimore Police Department Gun Trace Task Force. When you think about police, this was the worst unit in policing history. Because, when you think about police, being there for the community and really just protecting the people and solving crimes, and they were doing a total opposite. They were using their power and authority to mistreat people, from corruption to planting drugs on you to robbing. And I mean, anything you could think of that was negative. And it just goes to show, man, that stuff doesn't continue long. Whatever you're doing in the dark will be brought to light. My character, Gordon Hawk, was, like I said, on the Harford County Narcotics Task Force. He was the assistant to Officer David McDougal. Yeah, McDougal. And we just solving drug overdose cases, and we were kind of like the probe that set the Gun Trace Task Force in motion. Because as you can see with the tracking and everything that was going on with the tracking, once that went under the truck, it was another tracker. We like our own people tracking these drug dealers so they could rob them, but we trying to solve cases. So it's an amazing story. It was real. It's a heavy story. Big so they had that. They had to have that. Yeah, most definitely. They had to have therapists on set, for different scenes. And we had to like talk to these therapists on Zoom because, you know, as you can see, even it's all the way up to the third episode now. Some of the things that you see that they were doing to people, it can really mess with you mentally. You know what I'm saying? So, and then even filming in Baltimore, every time, like, say if I would catch an Uber somewhere and the Uber driver would recognize who I was and knew I was filming, this guy would say, "Hey, I experienced that with Wayne Jenkins. Like, he planted drugs on me. He locked me up," or any of those cops, you know. So this was a sensitive subject shooting in Baltimore. You know, people really that went through it. We met them.
Yo, oh, that is wild, man. Trey Chaney is with us, of course, when we own this city. Trey, you know, I'm hearing something in there because obviously the story about the GTTF covers these are monsters. I mean, these were evil people, right? You played a cop who did his job and helped take down monsters who happen to be cops. And it is a complicated conversation. I'm sure for you as a black man, it's an incredibly complicated conversation about the relationship with police and terrible things that have happened. How do you deal with all of that and reconcile the entirety of that conversation, which comes to light, obviously, in a big way during the course of this show?
Well, you know, the unfortunate part that you just mentioned about it is we're talking about the monsters and we're talking about the worst unit in police history, which overshadows the good cops. Right. And that's the touchy subject that we're still dealing with to this day. It's a lot of great cops out of here, but out in this world, but from, you know, our experiences being black men and, you know, police brutality and getting pulled over for no reason. If you're driving a nice vehicle, you know, you're getting your car searched. I mean, this is the type of stuff that we gotta face. And, you know, a lot of that plays into racism. It plays into racism. It plays into, you know, the mistreatment that we all face in this country today. But this type of conversation is like the navigating, you know, and saying, okay, you got the problem. We're too old and too grown. We should know right from wrong. We should know how to treat people. But at the same time, with a subject like this and a show like We Own This City, it's, you know, bringing up this type of dialogue. And hopefully, you know, it could bring change. I know, speaking to David Simon, while we were on set, you know, it seems like 20 years ago with The Wire, and then 20 years later, things seem to have gotten worse. You know, with mass incarceration, the war on drugs, the, you know, corrupt police officers. But still, we're trying to bring about some type of change by sparking this, you know, intense, heavy dialogue.
Trey, one of the things I told Justin's book, of course, was what sparked. I mean, I guess the story itself started this, the GTTF. Then Justin's book is what led to the show. And I remember saying to Justin, the subtext to me in reading the book was it demanded a question of you, the reader, which is, how corruptible are you? Because for me, it was easy to separate, hey, Wayne Jenkins is a monster. I mean, like, although you'll talk to people and say, well, actually, even he was kind of a sweet person at times, right? Like, but I can see he's a monster. Then you see all of the rest of the GTTF, and you're like, I don't know if they were evil or if they were just easily corruptible once they were given power. As you got into this story, I'm sure you read the book and then read the script.
Right.
Did you find yourself asking yourself any of those same questions? Like, hey, if I had been in a different path in life, like, would I have been corruptible, you know, if I had been given some power?
Yeah, it falls under the title leadership, man. I mean, because when you think about Wayne Jenkins, it started from somebody before him, you know, so it's almost like a trickle effect. It was passed down to him, and it does make you question yourself, like, well, wow, what if I was on his team? What if I was a part of the gun trace task force? And I was forced to almost like, hey, take the money.
Yep, this is the way it's going to go. Yeah.
Yeah, and
are you one of us or not? Are you part of the brotherhood or not? Right.
Yeah, and that's a lot of pressure.
Right.
You know, that's a lot of pressure. So it's a question that definitely comes up that you got to think about. But at the same time, it just takes me back to, it's a shame that good police officers don't get the media highlight. You know, we're talking about the corruptness of policing, and that's not how this is supposed to go. Like I said in the beginning, if you ask a little kid right now, well, I can't really say right now because things are just out of control. But you know, if you ask a kid like, hey, you know, is a police officer supposed to save lives? Are they supposed to protect the community? You know, they're going to say yes. Some kids say they want to be police officers because of the example good police officers set. So it's like, man, I'm happy to be a part of a show that does expose what went on and how we can try to get past this.
He is Trey Chaney. Again, he is in We Own the City every Monday night on HBO. And he's going to tell us about some of his other projects here in a second. Trey, yeah. I've kind of described this as like in The Wire, Baltimore was the show. Baltimore was a character, if you will, within the show. This to me is more that Baltimore is the setting this time around, right? Not right. A character, because I feel like this story could have played out anywhere, and frankly, probably has played out in a lot of other cities, right? And
I agree with that. You know, like you said, Baltimore was sort of like the character, but We Own This City it's the whole entire world, if you think about it. You know, because everyone, even in the city of Baltimore, was affected, and that's the tough part. You know, I mean, this was everybody affected as a whole, not just the cast members. You know, not just the producers and the writers, Justin Fenton and everybody who wrote it. This was a huge, major impact on everybody that had to go through this turmoil in that city.
Trey, your relationship with Baltimore over the years, I'm sure wherever you go, I have no doubt, even though, you know, you were a little more babyface back then, like, I have no doubt that you still have humans that come up to you and call you Poot everywhere you are, right? And I know you play into it on social media.
Let me tell you something. It's not a day that goes past that I don't step foot outside of my house that I don't get recognized for Poop on The Wire.
I believe it.
It's not a day that goes past. Like literally, and I'm saying it's 20 years later, you know, and it's an incredible feeling because I'm like, wow, I didn't know what I was a part of when I was cast on The Wire as Poop. That was my first audition ever. That was the first job I had ever booked as an actor. First, out the gate. And now I'm sitting here speaking to you 20 years later saying, hey, you know, The Wire is the most groundbreaking, critically acclaimed show of all time. And now I'm back with the same team on another historical project.
A wonderful piece of art, like a phenomenal piece of art.
Because We Own This City is going to get talked about for the next 20 years too. I mean, David, one thing about David Simon, he doesn't miss. And it's almost like to have that level of talent and passion for writing, you got to bring in George Pelicanos, Nina Noble, Ed Burns, and then our amazing director, Renato Marcus Green, who directed King Richard. He directs all 6 episodes of a David Simon project, HBO Max. It's like, it ain't no losing with this. I mean,
that's a crew.
You're going to see, that's a real crew. And I mean, just being on set with them and watching how humble these guys are. Like, and, you know, they're passionate about what they do. And they're just such nice human beings. You're like, wait a minute, I'm eating lunch with David Simon. Like, what, you know, what is this? Like, what? I mean, he created The Wire.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. And it's like,
Trey, how long was it? You know, you referenced you didn't know when you booked it at first, but like we go back to 2006, and The Wire in 2006 even was not what it became, say, 5 years later.
That's true.
When did you realize? Like, when was the moment where it hit you? Like, we didn't make a good TV show that ran for a few years that people like. Like, when did it hit you? Like, my God, we created an iconic, eternal piece of pop culture.
Man, okay, premiered in 2002. Okay, so 2000, I really got to say when it ended in 2008.
Okay.
Because it's almost like that effect that HBO and HBO Max has now, where they run this thing when you least expect it. People are calling me now saying, Trey, I just watched The Wire. And I'm like, it's 2022.
Right.
What?
Right.
They're like, yeah, I just watched all 5 seasons of The Wire. It's the most critically acclaimed show I've ever. And I'm like, I'm gonna tell you, Glenn, it hits me at certain moments.
Yeah.
It hit me in 2008 when it ended. It hit me again in 2010 when it was over and done with, and people were watching marathons and having Wire parties.
I believe everyone during the pandemic went back and rewatched from start to finish. I know I was among them.
Yeah, I was too. And a lot of people laugh when I say that, but with sometimes when you're in a project, when you're in it, you don't really see what everybody else sees because you're in it.
Yep.
I had to step out of Trey Chaney. I had to step out of Poop from The Wire and watch what the world was praising. And watching all 5 seasons, even watching some of my scenes, memorable scenes, and watching people like Idris Elba and Michael B. Jordan, and rest in peace to Michael K.
Oh God,
yeah,
man.
yeah, and that's a real touchy subject for me, Michael K. Williams, because he was so supportive of my career.
Wow.
He wanted to really see me win, and we would have talks. 3 weeks before Michael actually passed, I spoke to him about us putting something together. Like I wanted to book him on something that I was doing, and it was just a sad day, September 6th of 2021 last year. Jesus. Yeah, it killed us, man.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Look, man, I only had a few conversations with Michael K. over the years, bro, but the power that man could convey, just in by putting his hand on your shoulder, my God, it felt like you were talking to a giant, bro.
Yeah, you were. Yeah, you were. And I really, even with the success of We Own This City and The Wire 20-year anniversary coming up, it's like, I wish he was here, man. But he's here in his energy is here. He's not here in the physical form, but you can feel his energy. And it's, we all go way back. You go way back with us. From day one. So it's like, yo, but all we can keep on doing is pressing on. And we can, just keep on delivering powerful work and to honor his name, because that's what he wanted,
Yep. He was an artist, bro. He was truly an artist. Trey, bro, we could do this for an hour and a half. I know you're filming. Let's talk about what you got going on. Let's talk about everything you have that you're working on and anything we can plug for you, social media, anything like that.
Yeah. My new project, We Need to Talk, is coming out May 13th on all digital streaming platforms. It's a video gamer film. I play a video gamer named Tango Unchained, and James Maslow from Big Time Rush. Yeah, James Maslow from Big Time Rush is the star of it. It's about a YouTuber named Scott, who is a famous YouTuber, but he's trying to, separate the lifestyle of being a YouTube gamer versus the real life and, spending time with his family and friends. And I'm one of the friends on a video game all day. Todd Wolf, who's a good friend of mine out of Philadelphia, wrote it, directed it. It's going to be huge. Undeniable, the Trey Chaney story, is on Tubi right now.
Oh, I haven't watched that yet, and I'm going to. Holy
yeah, please do, man. Undeniable, the Trey Chaney story. It captures when I first got casted for The Wire, what led up to that. But when The Wire ended in 2008, Hollywood, they didn't call my phone. I just wasn't booking jobs. So I made it a point to get out in the streets of Washington, D.C., which is where I'm from, and started selling my own merchandise out of the trunk of my car and built the fan base. To this day, talks about how I got on Saints and Sinners on Bounce TV, which is still one of my other projects. Saints and Sinners is the #1 show on Bounce. I play Kendrick Murphy. We're in our 6th season, so every Sunday at 8 o'clock on Bounce, you can check it out. And all 5 seasons are on Hulu as well. So yeah, man, undeniable. And I put another film on Tubi called 6 Hearts 1 Beat about me falling in love with a young lady with 4 kids, and that's doing well. So
awesome,
just staying busy. Then my music career, I'm dropping a video like once a month.
It must be nice to have a talent, bro. It must be nice to be talented, man.
Yeah, I'm just juggling, man. You know what? I take that back. I'm not juggling. I'm balancing it all.
That's awesome.
Because the entertainment business is one thing, but then being married, to my wife Aisha, going on 18 years, 2 kids, a granddaughter, the family life is separate. So I've been good at navigating through, balancing, and when I do my work, I give it 1,000%. When I come home, take this hat off. I'm a husband. I'm a father, grandfather. I'm like, okay, it's family time now. So yeah, man, it just feels good to talk to you though, Glenn, because you're taking me back 25 years I've been in this business. And a lot of people don't make it in this business, man, because it's hard. But if you can focus on being committed to the process without getting emotionally attached to the end result, which is whatever reward you think, and just really do the work, that's been my whole motto. My head is down, I'm skating, tunnel vision. I'm going to get it.
Trey, I got to tell you, man, this city has had a complicated relationship with The Wire in particular over the years. I have always found and look, man, I've lost homies like to the streets. I
feel you.
I'm a white man, but I have the drug game has spread across everybody in this area. And what I'll tell you is I am grateful for the art that you all have connected, that our city is connected, that now originally one incredible piece of art and now another incredible piece of art. It means a lot. There's a lot of cities in this country that will never be connected to such phenomenal pieces of art. So do they show our warts? Absolutely. But every city's got warts. And I'm grateful that you and everybody involved has helped tell our city's warts and our stories through such beautiful art, man. It's really powerful to me.
And that's a huge point, man, because Baltimore, that's my second home. Yeah. The Baltimore City is what made me who I am. If it wasn't for The Wire, I wouldn't have been out here. That y'all gave me my start. And every time I come to Baltimore, it's love. Real genuine love. I got family members out there, so, just having a key to be able to pull up in the city anytime I want and hang out, and really embrace the culture. You know what I'm saying? Baltimore, it's so funny because Rob Brown, who plays on We Own the City, he described it as it's nice and it's tough. Or he said it's kind and it's tough.
Wow.
One of those he said, because it's both.
Yep.
You're going to get it all when you come to Be More.
I'm grateful. I'm grateful, brother. I'm grateful for this conversation. I'm happy for your success. 3 more weeks of We Own This City, Monday nights on HBO. Trey Chaney, I want to do this again. We're gonna try to do a 20th anniversary celebration here in a couple months.
And I'm down. I'm down for that, Glenn. I want people to follow me right now, man, on Instagram. It's Trey Chaney Vision. That's TrayChaneyVision. And the Twitter is at Trey Chaney, TrayChaney. And then ChaneyWay.com is my website. I'm on Facebook, Trey Poop Chaney. I had to put the poot in there because, the Wire, and then Trey Chaney. But yeah, man, just, y'all can look me up. I'm all over, man, because I'm out here. I'm working. I'm out here just staying consistent and staying determined to just follow my dreams. And that's it.
Happy for you, man. Trey Chaney, thank you so much for taking
Thank you, brother.
There he is, Trey Chaney, checking in with us here on GCR. So let's check in with Paul, who doesn't seem to be doing so well.
This is awful. This is absolutely awful. Like, I'm cutting pieces in half because I can't eat that much in one bite anymore. My tongue just feels like Like, I want to just spit.
Yeah.
Like, all the time.
Yeah.
It's like I said, you can take a look. This has become soup.
It's mostly soup at this point. You do seem like you've made some serious progress, though. You do seem like you're
I'm basically to the bottom of the watermelon.
Yeah.
And it's it can't come soon enough.
I do like that you're trying to push through. I do appreciate that. I respect that about you as a man, that you're doing everything in your power to push through as Paul's trying to finish his watermelon.
I'm waiting for my body to just shut down on me later today from all the salt.
Again, this is where I'm trusting you to know your body. All right, you know when you're at that point where it's just no mas. It's Roberto Duran up in here. All right.
I did gag about a minute and a half.
I don't know that gagging alone, because I gagged a lot while I was doing the peanut butter sandwiches. I don't know that gagging alone is the moment. It's when you know that your body will legitimately reject another bite of food.
When I gag, that's
and like will shut, like an organ might be shutting down.
I'm not going that far.
But that's what I'm saying. I want you to push it right up until the part where it's going to end up being problematic. Again, I'm thinking about, I don't want a lawsuit. That's what I'm concerned about.
If I'm going to try and show this on camera here.
Yes.
What this looks like and and how unappetizing this thing
Well, it didn't
looks.
start by being appetizing. It wasn't appetizing at the beginning.
Look at this.
It's just less
Look at
appetizing
this.
now.
From
It's
a
all
distance, it
soupy
looks
and-
like a bowl of like mango salsa. It is
Kinda.
not.
Kinda does.
It is not
Kinda
mango
does.
salsa. It is watermelon.
Hey.
Watermelon mustard soup.
All right. So here's the deal. By the way, that NFL schedule leak Twitter account that you guys were getting all your information from just admitted today that they were making it up all along as an experiment. Now, I don't think there's the secondary part where we see things like that and like people try to give trolls credit, like, this was a good one. Nobody deserves credit for this. Like, this is not a skill. This is just stupid. It's a statement about our society that somebody had the time to do it.
Wait. This Twitter account or what I'm doing right now?
Well, that's also stupid. Yes, they're both
And
stupid.
a statement about our
Yeah,
society.
it's also a statement about our society that people actually eat watermelon or mustard watermelon.
Soup.
Soup. I don't know if they eat mustard watermelon soup. Although I've had watermelon soup. It is wonderful. Oh, God, it is delicious.
Not if it tastes like this.
Well, no, not with mustard. That's the only thing I had with it. The guy that like started the Hollywood Brown's going to retire and go into video games, like wanted credit for it. Like he had accomplished something. You're not doing anything. You're not clever. You're not pulling off a hilarious prank. You're not Ashton Kutcher doing Punk'd. You're someone who has a lot of time on their hands. And God bless, that doesn't make you evil. You shouldn't go to jail. But you don't have a skill. You don't have a talent. If you could use it for some sort of inherent value, like people who use pranks, the impractical jokers have done well with their lives. You pulled off an internet troll. Now what? What is the value of that?
Now you just go somewhere and die.
Yeah, I mean, boy, you sound like a man who's thinking about your own reality at the moment.
Yeah.
That's what you sound like. But that's it. Like now it's just over. So what did you get out of it? These people don't deserve credit. Yes, it's embarrassing that other people will just share this stuff without doing even a modicum of thought into it. And it's an incredible statement about how awful this place is and how wretched Twitter is. But man, like what are you doing with your life that you're taking the time to try this? Anyway, that's my, not a sermon, just a thought.
That's how I feel right now.
Yeah, well, there's that. All right, when we come back in, Paul's going to sing, if he can still get through the words, and then we'll have a tidbit. We'll have two bit to wind down. It is a Thursday edition of Glenn Clark Radio.
Sports fans, the wait is over. The all-new FanDuel Sportsbook is now open at Live Casino and Hotel in Hanover, Maryland. This is your chance to win big right in your own backyard. Bet on every sport with self-service kiosks and watch all of the action from the best seat in the house. Make every moment more at the all-new FanDuel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel in Hanover. Please play responsibly. Gambling problem? Please call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit mdgamblinghelp.org.
That first sip. That first bite. Start your day off right with a delicious breakfast at Royal Farms. Choose from a fantastic selection of fresh Royal Farms breakfast sandwiches and top it off with a rich hot cup of the freshest coffee in the world. At Royal Farms, breakfast is available day and night. It's the freshest breakfast in the world. Real fresh, real fast. Royal Farms.
Baseball is back, and so is the spring seasonal menu at Glory Days Grill. Start with the opener, flash fried pork belly with our popular Korean No. 2 sauce, and take a bite out of the Crunch Burger, topped with home run sauce, white American cheese, and house-made chips. It also features irresistible options like a baseball cut sirloin with blue cheese, grilled shrimp with garlic butter, and a strawberry salmon salad. And then there's the closer, the Cracker Jack Sundae with a waffle, ice cream, and Cracker Jack. This menu will be gone at your neighborhood Glory Days Grill. GloryDaysGrill.com to find out more. Great food, good sports.
The 2022 baseball season is in full swing, and the future is brighter than ever for your Baltimore Orioles. I'm Paul Valley.
And I'm Zach Goodman.
And together we bring you the Bat Around every Saturday from 10 a.m. to noon with everything you need to know about the Orioles and baseball as a whole. From veterans like Cedric Mullins, Austin Hayes, and Ryan Mountcastle,
to young stars like Adley Rutschman, Grayson Rodriguez, and DL Hall.
We've got you covered for every game, every pitch,
and every debut.
You can watch us at youtube.com/PressBoxOnline and Facebook.com/PressBoxSports, or you can listen at PressBoxOnline.com/radio. So join us live on the Bat Around every Saturday from 10 a.m. to noon right here at PressBox Sports.
The Toyota Tacoma comes in a wide range of models and trim lines. You can choose the perfect Toyota to reflect your unique personality and driving habits. Check out buyatoyota.com for deals on new Tacomas from your local Toyota dealer today.
If you miss anything, don't forget that you can find whole shows later on Spotify, Apple, or Amazon Podcasts. It's Glenn Clark Radio.
All right, winding down for a Thursday edition of the program. You used this as a walk-up song, really? Like, you really did this? This is a real thing.
There was a point where I didn't hate...
Sorry. Started firing a little, like a itchy on the trigger finger there.
There's a point when I don't hate Imagine Dragons. A lot of people think they're douchey. I don't hate them.
I mean, they became, when they first came out, they made some decent songs, okay songs. And then they kind of became like an industry plant. Like, whatever the industry seems to be doing, we'll just make things that are formulaic, that appear to work, that will get us, like, commercials and things along those lines. I think they're entirely a nothing to me. Although, ironically, I don't think this song is awful, other than the thunder.
Will you do that part?
Wretched. I will try to, but I would prefer if you did it all, frankly. I would prefer if you did all of it. My children, however, they adore this song. They love it. So we would go on.
I've got a karaoke version.
No. We're just going to play the song in the background. You have the lyrics up. That's the way it's going to go. All right. My children would ask every time we go on a hike. They'd be like, "Let's listen to Thunder." I'd be like, "Oh, for God's sake, all right, fine." And I play it, and then they'd ask me to play it again. And I'd say, "I want to blow my brains out." Paul, as he's working his way, what are you trying to do? You're trying to be like a stage performer? Welcome into the Paul Valley Lounge. Now, you're you got the lyrics up. You good? Because you got to come out firing. As soon as I hit play, it starts with the first line of the song. All right.
Hang on, I got to get this smaller because it's not completely on the screen.
Well, you can also scroll.
Yeah.
You know, these are
okay.
Glad we worked all this out. The pre-show meeting. Here we go to perform the classic Thunder by Imagine Dragons. Easy. Are you gonna puke?
I'm good.
You sure?
I'm sure.
All right. Here it is, and you start immediately, right? As soon as I hit play. Here's Paul Valley.
So, with a quick fuse, I was uptight, wanna let loose. I was dreaming of bigger things and wanna leave my own life behind. Not a yes, sir, not a follower. Fit the box, fit the mold, have a seat in the foyer. Take a number. I was lightning before the thunder. 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 feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder, thunder, thunder. Feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder, thunder.
There's more thunder. They say thunder a lot.
A lot of thunder. Kids were laughing in my classes while I was screaming for the masses. Who do you think you are?
Oh, beautiful.
Dreaming about being a big star. They say you're basic. They say you're easy. You're always riding in the backseat. Now I'm smiling from the stage while you were clapping in the nosebleeds. I'm not doing the thunder.
Do it! It's part of the song.
I
Do
can't
it.
keep up with it.
You just say thunder a lot, jerk.
Thunder, thunder. Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder, thunder. Feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder, thunder. Oh my God, the rest of the song is nothing but thunder.
Yes, it's a lot of thunder. They say
This
it a
is
lot.
ridiculous.
It's so beautifully written. It's the songwriting that really gets me about this particular tune. That's what I love it the most.
Haven't the people had enough?
Come on, bring it home. Hands in the air.
Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder, thunder, thunder. Feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder, thunder, thunder. Feel the thunder. Lightning, thunder, thunder, lightning.
You just gotta keep doing it.
You
keep singing. Do it.
I can't tell where they are.
Just say thunder.
Thunder. Feel the thunder. Thunder, thunder. Thunder, thunder.
All right, fine. God, who are you?
I would have been able to
There's
keep
one
going.
lyric. There's one lyric.
Thunder, thunder.
That's it. That's all they say. That's it. That's literally the only lyric
man.
in the entire song. It's the songwriting. Literally, they're much like Bob Dylan, where the chorus of the song, thunder, feel the thunder, lightning and the thunder.
I was driving home from this show yesterday, and an REM song came on, and I realized that it was the same verse, just over and over and over again.
What song was it?
Oh my gosh, now I can't think of it. He says fire. Oh my gosh, that's a
REM?
REM. And it's literally just...
this one goes out to the one I love.
Yes.
This one goes out to the one I love. All right.
The entire song is this one goes out to the one I love. This one goes out to the one I left behind. A simple thought.
A simple prop to occupy my time.
A simple prop to occupy my time. This one goes out to the one I love. And that's all he sings. At one point, he says a simple prop. He changes a simple prop to occupy my time. He switches up one word. But the entire song is that entire verse.
I hadn't thought about that, but it's probably true.
I was listening to it yesterday.
They're no Imagine Dragons, those REM. They're not quite like the lyricists of our time.
Or the Justin Bieber's Baby, Baby, Baby.
Right.
Oh,
baby,
baby, no.
Well, but I thought you'd always be mine. That's the way it was going to go. All right. Very good. Thank you, Paul. Let's get a tidbit. Tidbit brought to you today by Simply the Bets. If you missed it this week, we had Simply the Bets on Tuesday to try to help you get set for a week of betting. It's brought to you by the FanDuel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel every Tuesday at 11:40 a.m. and next Thursday, the return of Weekend at Bookies at 11:40 a.m. as well. What you got?
All right. Hang on just a split second.
I don't know why you would be distracted. I don't understand that at all.
So Jorge Mateo has been a bit of a revelation for the Orioles since they claimed him off waivers last season from the Padres. He had 280 in 32 games for the O's last season before his season was cut short by a back injury. This season, the average is a bit lower, but his defense has gotten better every day, and the speed has been on full display as he is second in the majors with 9 steals, and he legged out a double on a grounder off a diving infielder's glove that trickled into shallow center the other night. Yet, despite the daily display of speed, Mateo only ranks 5th in the league in sprint speed. So I'm going to give you an option here, a couple of options. So you can either...
If it's about who's the fastest player, I don't know.
You can either name the rest of the top 10... or you can try to name as many of the 22 players aside from Jorge Mateo that have a sprint speed of 29 feet per second or higher.
Like currently?
Currently, this season.
This will not be a thing that I do well at. So whatever it is that we do, what's the smaller number? Because I don't want to spend a lot of time on this.
The top 10.
I'm going to fail miserably. I'm going to guess that Byron Buxton is on the list.
He is not.
Okay, then I might not get any.
He's in the top 23. He's not in the top.
Oh,
he's
good.
not in the top 10.
Good. I might not get a single one of them. I don't know. Are they stars? Are these players that I should know?
One's a rookie. One's supposed to be a star. He was a rookie last year. He's played in each of the last 3 seasons, but he's not what he was supposed to be yet. One is a certifiable star.
Trey Turner?
Trey Turner is tied for second with 30.1 feet per second.
I'm really not sure that I'm going to get anybody else on this
The Orioles
list.
are playing this guy right now.
Tyler O'Neill?
Tyler O'Neill.
Okay.
He is 8th.
Okay.
The Orioles just played this guy the series before this one.
Whit Merrifield?
No.
I barely remember who else was playing for Kansas City. It was such a weird series. I barely remember who else was even on the team.
He's a rookie.
There's almost no chance. He's
Come
a
on.
rookie. Oh, Bobby Witt?
Bobby Witt
Really?
Jr. is number 1 in baseball, 30.4 feet per second.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Man, I knew he was toolsy, but I didn't know that. Genuinely didn't know that.
Another guy is a rookie who started slow, but his bat's really come on recently.
Started slow. His bat's come on recently. I mean, Julio?
Julio Rodriguez,
Okay.
29.8.
All right. I mean, I think I'm tapped.
Yeah. All right. So you got Eli White at 30.1.
Man, at
Jose
least know-
Siri at 29.9.
I don't know that I know who
Matt-
Jose Siri is. Who is
Matt? He plays for Houston.
he? Okay.
Matt Vierling at 29.8. He plays for the Phillies. Joe Adell was the guy I was alluding to. He plays for the Angels.
Okay. All right.
Bradley Zimmer for the Blue Jays.
In fairness, I didn't know Joe Adell was that fast either.
I didn't know he was that fast
Yeah.
either.
Who's the other one?
Bradley Zimmer for the Blue Jays. Mike Trout is
I guess I could have guessed.
tied
that.
for 11th.
Oh, he's not on the list. Never mind.
29.5. And Ahmed Rosario is 29.5.
All right, here's what's coming up totally tubular. Oh, by the way, Tidbit was also brought to you by the FanDuel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel. It's the place to be for all of the big events. 61 self-service kiosks in the FanDuel Sportsbook for you to get your bets in, whether it's the UA. Oh, my God. Talk, dummy. Here. Hi, I'm Glenn. And I think if you want somewhere to go watch the UEFA Champions League final, the place to be would be the FanDuel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel Maryland, because they have 61 self-service kiosks where you can get your bets in, and they're open 24/7. And if you want to guarantee your spot for an event like the UEFA Champions League final, or any of the playoff games, or the PGA Championship final round, or perhaps the Gervonta Davis-Rolando Romero fight, then you can email events@sportssocialmd.com.
That was a straight read.
Jesus Christ.
I didn't have the Glenn Clark touch.
The problem is
anything.
it's 12:27, so I'm trying to speed up and get out of here, and then I start my mouth moves faster than my brain.
Heard.
Not great. Not ideal. Here's what's coming up tonight, Totally Tubular-wise. Totally Tubular is brought to you by the Baltimore Police. Join a proud new generation of Baltimore police and make an active difference in your community. Start with competitive wages and excellent benefits on day one. Join for good, bpdrecruit.org. The whatever schedule, we don't know. By the way, our buddy Barstool Banks says he's now hearing the Thanksgiving thing is not legit. So, I don't know. You'll know tonight at 8 o'clock. It's on all the networks. I will not be watching. Masson 2, Orioles-Cardinals this afternoon. Birds, they're going with the bullpen game, but do we know who the first one
Brian
is?
Baker's starting.
Brian Baker.
And I'm sure Keegan Aiken will come in after him.
Everybody was saying that Keegan Aiken was going to pitch today against Jordan Hicks. That's the pitching matchup for today. Mets-Nationals at 1 on Masson. By the way, the Orioles game, of course, on Masson 2. Mets-Nationals on Masson, and also if you happen to be, who cares? MLB Network's got Astros Twins at 1, Yankees White Sox at 8. As we mentioned earlier, MLB TV for the Norfolk Tides and the Memphis Cardinals. Right now, it's a free broadcast you can watch. ESPN Heat Sixers Game 6 at 7 as Miami tries to close out that series on the road. Suns Mavericks Game 6 at 9:30 as Phoenix tries to close that series out on the road. TNT Hurricanes Bruins Game 6 at 7. Wild Blues Game 6 at 9:30. TBS Maple Leafs Lightning Game 6 at 7:30. Oilers Kings Game 6 at 10. By the way, not a great night for the Washington Capitals, blowing a 3-0 lead.
Yeah.
Yuck.
They're done.
USA for Tottenham Hotspur and Arsenal at 2:45. Golf Channel, round 1 of the Byron Nelson at 4. Wrestling on whatever, that's fine. Non-sports highlights.
Post Malone and your favorite band, or at least SNL's favorite band, Arcade Fire, going to be on the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon tonight.
So overwhelming.
You have Mavericks. It's a Netflix comedy, and Mavericks with an X, by the way, and Savage Company premiering, or Savage Beauty, premiering on Netflix and on HBO Max. Hacks Max original season 2 premiere, and Who's by Your Side? It's a Max original season 1 premiere.
If you say so. All right, very good. Thanks today to Mike Bordick. Thanks also to Trey Chaney, as well as to Gerard Cherry from out in Cleveland. We'll get all of that up in Paul's vocal stylings in the greatest hits section of the
archives.
Tab at GlennClarkRadio.com. Hell of an effort today from you, paying off your bet. Well done.
2 bites left.
Oh, yeah? You're going to finish it?
Mm-hmm.
Holy crap. Scrape the walls.
That's what she said.
Coming up tomorrow, we're going to... Was it? Was it, though? It doesn't. DL Hall is going to join us. Andrew Steck will be here. He'll be paying off his penance. The intern's final day. We're going to have a fun day tomorrow on GCR. Looking forward to that. Thanks to everybody at Pressbox, all of our great sponsors and partners, including Glory Days Grill, Royal Farms, the Baltimore Police, Grade 8's Memorabilia, the FanDuel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel, Underdog Fantasy Football, the Baltimore Orioles, your local Toyota dealer, buyatoyota.com. Thanks to Paul. Follow him on Twitter at Paul Valley III. Follow Ryan at RexSpexRyan. Thanks to him. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Glenn Clark Radio. Have a great Thursday evening. Go Birds. Duke sucks. Ohio State sucks too.